Good evening and welcome into Cougar Stadium at Alexander Central High School for another exciting edition of Friday Night Football, brought to you by Sky Zone Sports here on Sky Zone HD, Channel 1. Tonight's exciting matchup pits the Alexander Central Cougars against the visiting Huskies of Ashe County. Good evening, I'm Tyler Ashe, alongside Nathan Ham. Glad to be back in with you for another edition of Friday Night Football. And Nate, this is going to be very similar for the Huskies tonight, especially on the defensive side and stopping an option attack for the third consecutive week.
Yeah, another tough rushing opponent here for the Huskies to face. Alexander Central had their ups and downs so far this season, but for Ashe, they're coming in still looking for that first win of the year, and certainly a lot of good things coming from last week. But this week, whole new story. We'll see what the Huskies have for the Cougars.
We've seen this Cougar offense before, and the team, as a matter of fact, as they played Watauga earlier in the year, the first game of the season, Watauga able to take care of business against the Cougars, and they also took care of business against the Huskies, Nate, so it will be interesting to see how these two teams match up here tonight. We certainly know that size is going to be in the advantage of the Cougars.
Yeah, Alexander Central certainly have some big bodies up front, and that's been something that's kind of plagued the Huskies here early in the season, kind of struggling to find some parts and pieces for the offensive and defensive lines. We've known that Coach Hampton's called up a few JV players with the 8-quarter rule and all that, so we'll see what the Huskies can do if they find a lineup that works.
The Huskies getting ready to take the field. So we're on the road this Friday night here in Taylorsville, North Carolina. Cougar Stadium. It'll be a nice night here. A little bit warmer than we've experienced here in the mountains. We'll see if that plays a factor at all in tonight's game as well. Got the cycles out down here, Nate. They're ready to roll.
They are. Got the American flag. Just a good old night for some football.
And here come the Ashe County Huskies, as you mentioned, still clawing to get a 1 in that win column on the season, coming into this one at 0-3, so they'll look to get that monkey off of their back. Certainly will the Huskies. As we take a look here, Nate, before we get started, some of the keys to tonight's big game, and of course, kind of like a broken record there, Nate, at the top of the list there, limit the big plays.
Yeah, we've certainly given up our fair share of big plays in our first 3 contests of the year. And key number 2 there, stop the run, something else we've had to struggle with off and on so far. And Alexander Central will be another big test once again. And, of course, finally control the tempo. We'll see which brand of football wins out tonight. Alexander Central will love to keep it on the ground, but for the Huskies, you know, they're going to go through the air, use Colin Ellis, chuck it all over the field.
Yeah, it certainly will be a contrast in styles, especially on the offensive side of the ball, as we'll see the air raid offense go to work, as you mentioned. The young Colin Ellis still learning the ropes here as the quarterback, but you got to like overall his improvement as well as this team's. And I'll tell you what, Nate, certainly Judd Price has made his presence known on the varsity level of football.
Yeah, anytime you can add a weapon next to Mason McNeil, have 2 really good receivers out there, that's going to really put a strain on your opposing defense. They can't just send everybody out there to cover Mason. Now they've got 2 guys on the outside to worry about. And who knows, they start worrying about those 2. Maybe we'll see Grant Thompson, Joseph Louder, some of those kids get open over the middle.
So before we kick things off, again, we would like to thank our communications partner here tonight, Carolina West Wireless, reminding you that 4G LTE is here as we bring on the Miller Insurance scoreboard. Getting ready to crank things up in Taylorsville, North Carolina. Ashe County Huskies hitting the road tonight. Cougars looking to stay on track, coming in at 1-2. We are underway as it's a short kickoff on the right side of the field. Will be fielded by Hudler. He's got some room, closes quickly though, but pretty good field position to start the ball game off here for the Huskies, Nate.
Yeah, good starting spot for Ashe. We'll see, maybe for the first time all season, maybe we can build up a little bit of a lead and not have to play from behind.
As the Husky offense comes onto the field, of course, there you see the stats. They speak for themselves, Nate. The K&K Stitch and Screen player to watch for tonight, and pretty much all season long, it's going to be Mason McNeil at the wideout position.
Yeah, he's proven time and time again he's just going to be a fit for any defense to have to deal with. 22 grabs, of course, 4 touchdowns, even added a pick on defense.
So he'll be looking to step up his play. Last week you might call it a bit of a down week for him. Didn't cross the 100-yard mark in reception yards for the first time this season and hold everything as they snapped the ball in the first play of the night. But there's a flag on the field. Looks like it's going to be against the Huskies in the way of a false start. And that indeed will be the case, so back them up 5 yards And they'll do it again, this time from the Ashe County 36-yard line, Nate. So sort of shooting themselves in the foot here to start things off.
Yeah, certainly not the first play from scrimmage they would like to have had there with the false start, but 1st and 15, if any team can get those yards back, it would be the Huskies as much as they throw the ball around.
Huskies will be looking to start things off as they did last week against Highbright, and we saw them strike early. Ellis dropping back, feeling the heat, and he can't get away from that one.
Nice pressure there from the Cougars, pretty much all over our offensive line on that play.
Closing in quickly on Ellis, no room to work with for him. We'll see where they mark this one. Be on the 27-yard line. 2nd down and 22 officially is what they'll call it. So the Huskies, tough go so far here in a couple of plays, and there's another flag that'll fly. Wow, a little uncharacteristic here opening up the game.
Yeah, you don't usually see the Huskies come out looking like this, but maybe a little bit of jitters here playing a much bigger program than the Huskies.
Yeah, and we talk about the difference in size and also difference in numbers, Nate. We know the Huskies a little bit down in terms of overall depth this season. Alexander Central comes in. This is a big school, being a 4A school and in a big-time conference.
Yeah, they've certainly grown accustomed to playing the bigger schools, but for Ashe, it's never quite as easy having to move up such a big-size program, especially on the road. We haven't been on the road in over a month, so we may see how that affects the Huskies here early on.
2nd down and 27. They're backed up to their own 22. Look at Ellis scooting away, but the ball pops out. Who comes up with it at the bottom of the pile? Teams flying in both directions. Looks like the Huskies will maintain possession of the football. But Ashe having trouble getting anything going on this first drive. A little disappointing to see how they started off the game last week against Highbrighton, and here tonight, really nothing doing through 3 plays.
And it could be lots of jitters early on. As I said, we haven't been on the road in quite a while since the season opener against North Surrey, so that could play a role in this. They've been able to play in the friendly confines of Husky Field, but this time a little bit different.
20 yards to go for that first down. Ellis throwing on the run, deep down the near side, and ball may have been tipped a little bit. Mason McNeil still got his hands on it, though, but could not reel that one in. It's going to go down as an incomplete pass.
Sophomore defensive back Jacob Parson looked like he in there on the coverage.
So unfortunately for the Huskies, that punting unit quickly onto the field as Mason McNeil dropped back to boot this one away. On 4th down and 20. Excuse me, they're going to use Richardson to kick this one. So they're going to bring the kicker onto the field to do the punting duties as well right now. Richardson boots this one high. A little bit of a short kick, takes a bad bounce for the Huskies across their side of the 50. That's going to set up shop here for the Cougars. Very nice field position, Nate, on Ashe County's side of the field.
Yeah, anytime you can take over in your opponent's territory, you're going to take that any day of the week. And for that Cougar offense, certainly be happy to start the first drive here. It looks like about the 47-yard line. We'll see how quickly they go to the ground. I expect first few snaps, certainly they'll be trying to pound that ground game.
And they'll be under the direction of number 2, Landon Hammer, senior quarterback. Built more like a running back, Nate, 6'1", 202. He's a big guy. We saw him run the ball well against Watauga in their matchup, first game of the season. Didn't throw it much. He was just 1 for 5 throwing the ball. See if they stick it to the ground game here once again as we'll see this option offense. And there's a quick handoff up the gut and fighting his way forward on the dive play inside the 40-yard line. It's very nearly a first down right off the bat.
And that might have been fullback Devontae Clark in there on the carry. First carry of the ball game.
Clark, senior captain. He's a big guy out of the backfield as well, 5'10", 195. I'll make it 2nd down and 2, so 8-yard gainer to be exact on the first play from scrimmage. Down at the Husky 40-yard line. Same play, but this time Hammer keeps it himself, still fighting forward. Look at him ducking tacklers left and right, and he's going to have more than enough for a first down. Not the way the Huskies want to start this one out, Nate.
Yeah, got their backs against the wall early. Hunter Argetsinger there, nice tackle right there. But Alexander Central all the way down to the Husky 29-yard line.
Give them a fresh set of downs. Under 9.5 minutes. Here in the first period of play, Ashe was forced to a quick 3 and out, in large part due to some penalties. And here's the toss to the right side, trying to find some room on the edge. Flags do fly down the field, as that was Bryson Godfrey, the sophomore tailback, trying to work his way out to the edge and find some open space. But penalty markers are down. Still waiting on an official signal. Is that a holding downfield, Nate?
I couldn't quite tell from our vantage point here. This looks like a hold indeed on the Cougars. Back them up 10 yards.
So it was a decent pickup, maybe in large part to a holding call downfield. We'll back them up and we'll redo it. Ball on the 29-yard line. Hammer takes the snap. There's the dive play again up the gut. Clark, he's quite a load running it up the middle.
Yeah, one of their bigger backs. We saw Godfrey on the last carry. Got called back on the penalty, but we'll see him outside quite a bit more. He only weighs in at about 160 pounds, but certainly has the outside speed to keep this rushing attack very difficult to stop.
Clark looks to be a little shaken up after that run. See there, slow to get up. And we're going to get an injury timeout.
Official timeout.
Yeah, an official timeout here. As we'll see Clark. Looks like he's going to have to head to the bench there for a minute. So Nate, while we have a minute, we'll take a look at some of the top performers last week. Of course, for the Ashe County Huskies, some good numbers all around, as we talked about it. Maybe not quite the stat breaker game there, I should say, from Mason McNeil, but other than that, some nice games for several of this Ashe County players.
Yeah, you see Judd Price there with 8 grabs for 179 yards. Big game from the junior receiver, and he's really becoming a big weapon for Colin Ellis and the Huskies.
Yeah, he's just getting better and better each week, as you said. A couple touchdown grabs last week, 179 receiving yards, and Ellis had a nice game as well, tossing 287 as we see the run off to the right side. Short gain that time. He threw for 2 TDs, ran for another, and that's something we know Coach Hampton would like for him to do more of, is use those wheels. And he's got plenty of athletic ability and very mobile at the quarterback position.
Yeah, Colin very athletic, and something that maybe we didn't have quite as much from the quarterback position last year, the ability to pick up some big yards on the ground. And I would say as the season goes along, especially getting into conference play starting here soon, you'll see Colin Ellis be able to use his feet a little bit more.
Big play here, ball on the Husky 22, 3rd down and 2. So we're under 7.5 minutes to go in this first period. There's the run up the middle. Looks like that's going to be more than enough to move the chains.
Looks like they're going right at the middle of this Husky defensive line. And I'm sure they've probably seen some game tape from the last few games where Ashe has struggled a little bit with the ball going straight up the gut. We've done a pretty decent job containing outside, but it's been right up the middle that the Ashe defense has struggled.
Give him a fresh set of downs, ball on the 13 now. So Huskies going to have to dig in here on defense. Don't want to get in an early hole against a team like Alexander Central that can really limit your possessions. Hammer going to keep it on the QB option and falls forward. He's down inside the 10-yard line now. Nice job there on the option keep. Pickup of 7. Makes it 2nd down and 3. Ball just outside the 6-yard line. Man in motion. See if they go to this strong side. take it off to the right, and going to be close down there to that goal line. It's going to be enough to give him the first down, Nate, so first and goal inside the 3-yard line.
It was a nice misdirection play there. Got Godfrey the ball. Had a whole bunch of Huskies moving towards their right there, and Godfrey goes back towards his right, and there's a lot of open field over there, but only able to get it down to the 1. But as you said, it'll be first and goal.
First down and goal midway through this first period. There's the handoff. Clark, he's in. An early touchdown as the Cougars draw first blood. It's 6-0 midway through the first period.
Well, Clark just cuts it right up the middle. Easy touchdown for the Cougars. Ashe hoping to respond on this upcoming drive. Have to try to put this one behind them. Cougars certainly had their way with the Husky defense.
Yeah, as we take a look there at the Mountain Outfitters replay. Nothing too fancy there. Run off to the right side. Clark goes untouched into the end zone. Here's a bit of the old swinging gate, maybe taking a page out of Watauga's playbook here on these extra point attempts.
Yeah, it's something else for the defense to have to worry about. Never know, they might just direct snap it with not a whole lot of guys there. Foot race to the end zone.
Adam Gast now back to kick. Snap, the hold, and the kick is no good. So they'll have to settle for 6, but they still draw first blood. As we'll take a look now at that Ashe County Ford drive to the end zone. They milked a lot of clock there, Nate. Just what they want to do. If you're Coach Basil, you're very happy with that first drive from your offense.
Yeah, 8 plays, 47 yards, a little over 4 minutes off the clock. And I don't think they went to the air one time on that drive, so that's what the Huskies are going to be facing for most of the night. A lot of ground game coming at them, lots of counterattack, lots of straight up the middle. See if the Husky defense can make a few adjustments here down the stretch.
Yeah, they're going to have their work cut out for them. It's going to be tough on that defense with the offense going 3 and out of their first possession, then 4-minute drive by Alexander Central. That's just what they want to do, is chew up that clock. We talk about it. Ashe County Ford, key to the game there was controlling the tempo. Here in the early going, Nate, it's all Alexander Central. This is the kind of football they want to do, limit the possessions, long drives, and put it in the end zone.
And the Huskies really need to get something from their offense here. Maybe not necessarily have to get points, but they've got to string a few first downs together, at least give that defense a little bit of time to breathe over there and get ready to come out for their second series.
And here's another kickoff to the far side of the field. This one going to be fielded by Judd Price. Gets some blocks up the field, trying to cut it back up the middle, but that room closes quickly as a trio of tacklers come and get him.
Ishmael Clark in there leading the way, able to pull him down.
Ishmael initiating the contact, as you said, bringing him down. Ashe County will start this drive from their own 27-yard line, 1st and 10. Trailing early in this one, 6-0 though. They'll have their work cut out for them to try to answer. The Huskies, that's something we've seen them have to deal with a lot this year, Nate. Something you never want to do either is play from behind.
Yeah, we saw them get out to the quick lead against North Surrey, but that's been about the only time this year we've had a chance to send our defense out there not having to sort of come from behind. So unfortunately today, Alexander Central up first, but early in the game, we'll see what the Huskies can do offensively.
And Ellis took the ball himself up the middle, then it looks like he coughed it up, and that is going to be a turnover, and just like that, the Cougar offense comes back onto the field right in red zone territory.
Yeah, that's about the worst possible start you could have for the defense, having to come right back on the field after just one play. And, we'll have to see if the Huskies can really gut one out here and get a stop.
My goodness, talk about a quick blow there for the Ashe County Huskies. You give up 6, then give the ball right back on your 23-yard line, so just outside of the red zone. And the way Alexander Central moved the ball in their previous possession, Nate, that's nothing that's a tall order for them, the way this offense was rolling.
And I fully expect to see Alexander Central go right back to that ground attack, pound it up the middle.
And there it is. No, he keeps it himself. And he got thrown down pretty hard there, did Hammer.
Good job by Alex Richardson reading that play perfectly. And that'll help the defensive spirits a little bit with a big loss there.
So Hammer getting the hammer drop that time. Nice job there by Richardson. And there we see a flag come out. Some movement there up front. That's actually going to be against the Huskies. Tell you, the penalties keep mounting up here early on for the Ashe County Huskies.
Early miscues we don't usually see from Coach Hampton and his ball club, something I'm sure he's not very happy with at all over on the sidelines.
So that'll make it 2nd down and 8 on the Ashe County 21-yard line. Hand off up the middle that time. Goes to Clark. He's going to be pushed back. Not much doing there, and I stand on that play from the Husky defense.
Yeah, just good job in there. We saw Josh Hamilton there. Looked like Alex Richardson once again. Good job by that defensive line, able to contain up the middle.
So nothing doing there. It'll make it 3rd and 8. Ball still on the Ashe County 21-yard line. Cougars up an early touchdown, 6-0 after the extra point attempt was failed. They're looking to add on to it here, make it a 2-score game in the early going here at the 4:31 mark. Play action. He's looking toward the end zone in the far corner. And did he hang on? No, they say he did not. But boy, it wasn't for a lack of effort.
That was a nice throw there intended for Jonathan Barnett, 5'8" senior. Looks like he pulled it in, but he must have been way out of bounds. Couldn't tell from here. He came up with the football, but he didn't try to argue it too much either, so he may have known he was out of bounds.
It's just about a perfect throw that time from Hammer there. Got to commend him. A nice ball. He said maybe led his man just a bit too much. It'll go as an incomplete pass, and it brings up a 4th down and 8 situation. Ball still on the Ashe County 21-yard line. Cougars driving right to left. There's the man in motion. Hammer's going to drop back to throw it. Look into the end zone again, this time clearly over the head of the intended man. Garrett Miller applying some pressure as well.
And Barnett, the intended receiver again. That time the throw not near as good as the last one, and Ashe will take over after the turnover on downs. Way to dodge a bullet there by the Husky defense.
Yeah, you talk about dodging the bullet. There's some of that bend but don't break philosophy from the defense. Had their backs up against it there. Ball on the 21-yard line. We saw the feet kind of get tangled up in the end zone, but no call. Incidental contact, the referees must have ruled it. So ball well over the head of the intended receiver as well. And the Ashe County Huskies will come out after the turnover on downs on their own 21-yard line as Ellis will direct his team. Good snap count there. 5 yards never hurt anybody.
Yeah, take what you can get, especially when you're trailing in a ball game.
Yeah, nice to see a flag on the other side there as the Huskies draw the defense offsides on the hard snap count from Ellis. So that'll make it 1st and 5 on the 26. Just over 4 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Ellis in the gun, takes the snap, looking to the far side. Hit as he throws, delivers a nice ball and nearly caught. Diving effort from Judd Price, just couldn't hang on to it there. He would have been on the 45-yard line of the Cougars. That would have been a highlight reel catch.
Price gave it all he could on that play, and good job there. Good throw, solid throw, just a little bit out of reach. Judd Price really putting in that effort. That's something every team likes to see.
Not a bad idea with the 1st and 5 opportunity. So it'll still be 2nd and 5 for the Ashe County Huskies after the incompletion from Ellis. Looking for Price across the middle. They'll do it again. In the gun looking that way once again. This time pass is caught by Mason McNeil, and he'll just head out of bounds after he picks up enough for the 1st down. Move those chains for the Ashe County Huskies.
Looks like got across the 40-yard line there. Nice little pickup for Ashe. First down of the night.
And a welcome sight there. The Ashe County side of the field here. First of the night, as you mentioned. Ball at the 42-yard line. Ellis joined by Sullivan in the backfield. Twins to the left and right. Here is on the out route looking for Thompson. Nice catch made, but not much doing afterward as the space closed in quickly. Good open field tackle there, but pick up the 3 yards. We'll take it for the Ashe County Huskies.
Any positive yards you can get at this point, especially moving down the field That'll help keep your defense off the field as well. They certainly need a little bit of a breather. They've been out there almost this whole quarter so far.
Making the tackle is Jacob Watson from his linebacker position. Ball in the near hash at the 45. 2nd down and 7 for the Huskies. Ellis dropping back, fires across the middle. This one is hauled in by Mason McNeil. Got him in stride at the hash mark on the far side of the field. Moving it now into Cougar territory. That's a big-time gain for the Ashe County Huskies.
Yeah, Jacob Parson there in coverage listed at only 5'7", so certainly a mismatch there height-wise. And Colin Ellis able to exploit that nicely, just throws it up for his big receiver to go get it.
So give them another 1st down as they're at the 37-yard line of the Cougars. Trips to the left on that big side of the field. He's going for the one-on-one matchup to Price, and how about that catch in traffic? Move him once again.
And Price coming through his first big play of the night. We've seen McNeil and Price getting involved here early. The Ashe offense really clicking on this drive.
Down inside the 25-yard line of the Cougars now. Spot them at the 23. 1st and 10 Ashe County, getting something going here they like on this drive. See if they keep going to the well. That is Judd Price, and there's some more early movement up front. Another good snap count from Colin Ellis, changing it up a bit on those calls.
Looks like Cody Blankenship there jumps off sides, a little bit frustrated at himself, giving away 5 easy yards to the Huskies.
That'll make it 1st and 5 as they're in red zone territory for the first time tonight on the Cougar 19-yard line. Ellis takes the snap. They'll hand it off this time to Sullivan, and he's battling his way forward, still on his feet, carrying some men with him, and look at him push that pile forward.
Good job by the junior tailback, keeping those legs moving right up the field.
Good strong downhill run from Sullivan that time. I always like to see this big guy get the ball in his hands.
He really, when he gets the ball, he usually makes it count, especially guys trying to tackle him. It'll usually take at least 2 or 3 guys to bring him down. You rarely see one guy take him down.
All the way down to the 7-yard line, they'll call it. So that was a pickup of 12. 1st and goal, ball on the 7. Inside the 2.5-minute mark in the opening quarter. Bit of a high snap there for Ellis. He's looking to the corner in the end zone, well over the head of the intended target, Judd Price. Trying to go for the quick strike into the end zone. They'll have to redo it again here. That'll bring up 2nd down and goal. Here we go again, 2nd down and goal. This time looking to the middle of the end zone, diving. Did he hang on to it? No. A little bit of a low throw there from Ellis. He was looking for Judd Price once again, but that one couldn't quite scoop that one up. That's going to go as an incompletion.
Price once again putting in good effort there, trying to pull that pass in. Colin had a little bit more time than he thought on that throw. Kind of laid it in there a little bit too low.
Here we go again, 3rd and goal. Ball still on the 7-yard line. Ellis feeling the heat, and he is going to be dropped in the backfield. Tough break there for the Huskies. That's going to bring up 4th down.
That's a big play from the Cougar defense. 4th and 7 might not have been as difficult, but here it's going to be 4th and 15. I fully expect Ashe to leave the offense on the field, but you're going to have to come with 15 yards on one play.
Yeah, tough spot to be in. 4th down and goal back at the 15-yard line. Trips to the left and hold everything. Still waiting on an official signal.
I think he called that a sideline warning.
Okay.
Didn't really point either direction, though. Not sure which sideline, but.
You're right, that signal may have been to the far side of the field. Now they give a warning, correct? Now, and
Yes.
So no penalty. Clock back rolling again, approaching the 1.5-minute mark. Ball on the 15-yard line. 4th down for the Huskies to make something happen. He's looking toward the end zone, and the throw is incomplete, but the flag is down. Looks like that's going to be pass interference, perhaps some new life here for the Huskies.
Yeah, Joe Price looked like he certainly was interfered with, and no argument at all from the Cougar defensive back. Just kind of walks away over there. They've gotten Judd's away. We'll see what the call is for sure, but it certainly looked like pass interference.
Looked like the same play call from 2 plays ago, Nate. Price crossing in the end zone. So that'll make it half the distance to the goal. So back to the 7-yard line, Nate. We get to do things again. 4th down and 7.
Yeah, your playbook's a little bit more wide open with only needing 7 yards here. At 4th and 15, you knew you were going to have to definitely chuck it deep, but here, 7 yards, you might be able to throw it underneath, sneak somebody into the end zone that way.
So 4th and goal once again, this time on the 7-yard line. In the opening period, Huskies trailing right now, fires to the end zone, same route again. This time, did he hang on to it? Yes, touchdown Huskies.
Great catch from Judd Price. He's put in the effort all evening long here in the first quarter, trying to pull in some tough grabs. That one he's able to make, and Ashe ties the game here at 6.
Scooping that one out of the dirt. Looks like he should be man in the hot corner or something of the Husky baseball team there. That's nice catch in the end zone as we see on the Mountain Outfitters replay. Great job by Price. And now Richardson on for the PAT. Kick is up, and it's good. So the Huskies forge ahead here after the touchdown, answer the call. Both teams have found the end zone once. The only difference there, the extra point, as we take a look at that. Ashe County Ford drive to the end zone. Huskies putting together a nice drive that time. 10 plays, took it 78 yards. Just got some help there late with the pass interference call. Just under 3 minutes shut off the clock, and of course capped off a 7-yard pass from Ellis to Price. And the difference right now in the ballgame is that PAT. Richardson put it through the uprights. The Huskies lead 7-6 at the 1:22 mark here in the opening quarter. Tonight's edition of Friday Night Football from Cougar Stadium here at Alexander Central High School in Taylorsville, North Carolina. Tyler Ashe, Nathan Ham again, glad to be back in with you tonight as we take a look at the Miller Insurance scoreboard. Huskies on top, Nate, and good to see them up here by the slimmest of margins.
Yeah, Ashe certainly able to fight back, and probably the biggest thing there, giving their defense a breather. Not only tie the score, but she kept those guys off the field, and they'll go back out here, certainly have more energy than having to go out there after one quick play. So hopefully the Ashe defense can respond to that and get another stop.
After the PAT, Richardson on to put his big foot into this one. Booming kick downfield, and that one is going to roll into the end zone for a touchback. Nice job there by Richardson.
Yeah, we've seen Richardson really working on his kickoffs this year. He's had quite a few touchbacks. We've seen more touchbacks from him than I think I've seen from any other kicker in high school history here.
So at the 120 mark, we'll see the Cougar offense back onto the field. So they find themselves trailing by 1. Trailing for the first time tonight. They start this one from their own 20-yard line. Not sure what the holdup here is. And we're back to action now. And we're going to keep it himself on the option. And nothing doing there, Nate.
Yeah, good job by the Ashe defense stringing it out over there. We saw Tristan Jones and Matthew Greer both over there. That's certainly good to see from the defensive secondary coming up and making a nice play.
Well, something you don't want to see on the field right now, though, is an injured Hammer, it appears. He's looking a little gimpy-legged getting up from that hit.
Yeah, he's trying to shake it off out there, but when you got a running quarterback and he's struggling with his legs, that's certainly something the coaches don't want to see.
Yeah, certainly known more for his running ability in this option. Looks like he's going to tough it out. He's a competitor. He's going to stay in this one. We'll see him toss this one to the right side, trying to find some room off of the edge. Closing in quickly. We did see a penalty marker fly, however. So hold everything. That was Bryson Godfrey again. Similar play we saw him design for him earlier.
And I'll tell you, Hammer really feeling it out there. He's still hobbling along pretty bad. he's going to have to come off the field.
The flag is against Alexander Central. That'll back them up. Make it 2nd down and 15. We'll see if they get this play off. And they're content just to let this one roll on. The Huskies, see them. They're happy. They're up by 1 after the first quarter of play here from Alexander Central High School. 7-6 your score. Ashe County with the 1-point advantage. Stay tuned in here. We've got a good one on hand. More Friday Night Football on the way. Second quarter action picking up right here on Sky Zone Sports on Sky Zone HD, Channel 1.
When it comes to insuring your home, business, automobiles, and property, you want an agency you can depend on. Miller Insurance has been serving this region for more than 60 years and are proud to now represent Everett Cash Mutual, which specializes in insuring farm property, equipment, livestock, and more. Before you renew your insurance policies, give us a call at 336-246-7151 or come see us in downtown West Jefferson. Miller Insurance is proud to be your hometown insurance agency that supports our hometown teams.
Little's Health and Fitness began in 1981. We are a 24/7 full-service, family-friendly fitness center with the finest equipment from Life Fitness, Hammer Strength, and Body Masters, as well as a great staff to help you get started. We have a 22-piece cardio area, so waiting is rarely a problem. We offer group classes for all levels, an extensive array of weights and machines, perfect for the beginner to advanced. We also have meal replacement shakes, tanning, dressing rooms with private showers, personal trainers, and child care is also available.
And welcome back to Cougar Stadium at Alexander Central High School for tonight's edition of Friday Night Football. Ashe County Huskies against the Alexander Central Cougars in Taylorsville, North Carolina. Tyler Ashe alongside Nathan Ham. Glad to be back in with you for more football action on Sky Zone Sports. First period, Huskies on top, 7-6 as we begin the second quarter of play. The teams have switched sides. Hey, what'd you like from the Huskies there in that opening period?
Well, they certainly closed the first quarter strong. That's something you'd like to see. Put together a great offensive drive, able to give the defense a break out there. And really seemed to have Alexander Central's defense on its heels quite a bit, especially with those post patterns over the middle of the field. And once Colin got that ball into the air a little bit, it started moving.
There's the reverse handoff, and it pays dividends. Still on his feet before he takes a big hit. Is number 25, Bryson Godfrey. That's the first time we've seen him go up the middle.
You haven't seen him get the ball too much other than a couple of outside counter plays, but he reads that perfectly, takes it up the middle, and a big gain for the Cougars.
And into the ball game, we see number 15, Gunnar Anderson. He's probably going to be our QB for the rest of the way here. Hate to see that. Landon Hammer tried to stick it out there for another play or two after suffering what appeared to be a lower leg injury. But his night may be over as we'll see the sophomore come into the ball game tonight, Gunnar Anderson. 6'1", 170. We'll see how he runs this triple option offense. Hand off this time up the gut. Nothing too fancy there. Not a bad pickup on the first down carry. 4 yards, we'll call it. Makes it 2nd down and 6. In this second period of play. This will be the final non-conference game on the schedule for the Ashe County Huskies. So we'll see the quick screen there to the receiver on the left side, and boy, the defense had that one read perfectly.
Yeah, great job like Sam Hudler over there reading that to a T and able to stop that before it had any chance to go anywhere.
No gain that time on the play. 3rd and 6 now. Ball on their own 37-yard line. We'll see if this changes the offensive play calling at all with a new QB in. So far, they've stuck to their guns in this option attack, and they'll do it again. There's a nice carry off the left side from Clark, and he's out across the 45-yard line, move those chains.
And big first down for the Cougars. Ashe had the momentum all on their side, hoping to get a stop there to put it back in the offense's hands, but the Cougars, big-time first down with the backup quarterback out there. Nice job by them to keep the ball on the ground, keep the offense moving.
Fresh set of downs, ball marked at the 48-yard line of the Cougars.
Come on, defense! You gotta get nasty. You gotta get real nasty. Real nasty.
This time, Anderson going to keep it himself. He's across midfield. Not a big-time gain there. Picks up about 3, but takes it into Husky territory. A team that's so heavy on the run today, a little interesting to see that Alexander Central uses this no-huddle offense.
Yeah, you don't usually see that from teams that like to run the ball a whole lot, but with Alexander Central so far, they've shown it quite a bit here early on.
So after the 3-yard pickup, and the QB keep makes it 2nd down and 7. Anderson, he's going to the air. He wants it all. Looking down that left side. Pass is caught. Hits his man in stride. 10-5. Touchdown Cougars.
Matt Fedota got all the way through the Ashe secondary. They're all kind of looking around who missed what assignment there, but he was pretty much uncovered down the sideline.
As we take a look at the Mountain Outfitters replay, a picture-perfect pass. You talk about maybe a breakdown there in the secondary on the far side of the field, but a perfect route, just a go route, and even more perfect pass there delivered from Anderson as the sophomore QB steps up and delivers that one. And Fedota cradles it, takes it into the end zone. And now Alexander Central quickly back on top in this one as we'll have a timeout onto the field called by Alexander Central. And that will be a Little's Health and Fitness Center timeout. Little's reminding you to take time out of your day. Get active. Head down to Little's Health and Fitness in West Jefferson. Nate, breakdown there, but we haven't seen Alexander Central try to go for the home run pass. It pays dividends there, though.
Yeah, that was a nice play call. Perfect timing there. Matt Fedota able to get wide open down the field. And just a little bit of a defensive lapse from the Huskies, and it cost them there big time.
Yeah, one play is all it takes. You have a miscue. 12-7 our score. And we'll see what Alexander Central chooses to do here. Thought they were going to go for the 2-point conversion, especially after a timeout, but they'll line up here to kick the extra point. There's the hold. Oh, it's a fake, and into the end zone untouched goes Landon Hammer. He's healthy enough to take it in for 2 more.
Yeah, his leg looked all right on that play, but wow, Ashe defense caught off guard on the fake. Cougars take a full 1-score lead here at 14-7. 9:12 left in the half.
Look at that Ashe County Ford drive to the end zone. Looking that clock once again, 7 plays, 80 yards. Of course, Nate, the damage was done on that long pass from Anderson.
Yeah, up until that, the Ashe defense were holding their own. They gave up that key 3rd down conversion, but on that pass play, just a lapse in the coverage, and the Cougars able to make them pay for it.
It's a little bit interesting story there that Hammer actually came in and was the man to take it into the end zone on the fake extra point attempt.
Yeah, he's obviously feeling well enough to do that. Kind of surprised he wasn't out there on the drive if he was feeling okay to do that. But then again, that was only a couple yards there. May not have wanted to stress the leg too much. But hey, when you got Gunnar Anderson out there that can put that gun to use and chuck it downfield like that, I don't blame him at all.
Exactly, with an arm like that, who can blame him? He may have just won himself the starting quarterback job.
Yeah, if there was a controversy, it might be solved now.
Gaston to kick this one away. It is a short kick, fielded by Sam Hudler. He's trying to find some room up the middle. Not a lot doing there. He's going to get it out. It's the 30-yard line, so pretty nice field position here for the Huskies. They'll start out there right close to the 35-yard line. So the Huskies trailing again, as you mentioned, a full 7 points now after the 2-point conversion, 14-7 at the 9:06 mark. Ball on their own 34-yard line to start off this drive. See if the Huskies can answer again. They did earlier. They found themselves behind. There's the handoff to Sullivan. Boy, he just ran into a brick wall.
Great penetration there from the Cougar line. Not what the Huskies wanted there at all.
You see the Huskies run it a lot. Generally, Big Sky Sullivan, you don't see him getting taken down that easily behind the line of scrimmage.
That was a great job by the Cougars. One-hit takedown.
Loss of 1, 2nd down and 11. Ellis dropping back in the gun. Passes there, and pass is caught. And stretching forward is Mason McNeil out across the 45-yard line. 1st down, Huskies.
Good job there by the Husky line, able to pick up that blitz. Gave Colin more time to find the open man. And when the offensive line can block those extra guys coming through, or at least slow them down a little bit, that's when Colin Ellis, he can have a field day out there. Lots of one-on-one matchups.
Spotted on the 46-yard line is the ball on the Husky side of the field. 1st and 10. Ellis passing all the way, going across the middle once again. This one nearly intercepted and probably should have been.
Yeah, that was a little bit underthrown there. Looked like Mason McNeil about 10 yards from that ball. Huskies dodged a bullet there. Could have been another costly turnover.
That was Jacob Parson. Last man to get his hands on the ball from his defensive back position. Second and 10 after the incompletion. Same look again from the Huskies with Ellis in the gun, stepping up, making a nice throw downfield, but over the head of the intended target there. He was looking in the way of Judd Price.
Price had a step there. Looked like Kendall Flowers in coverage. Price had a step, but the throw a little bit too far out of reach.
So underthrown the previous play that time. Overthrew his man by about 3 or 4 yards. Hopefully the 3rd time's the charm here for Ellis. He can get it right on the money. A big 3rd down here for the Huskies. Ball near midfield. 3rd and 10. There he delivers a nice pass to the near side that is caught and forced out of bounds by Mason McNeil.
And it looks like a flag thrown in late here as well. Could be a late hit maybe, or a face mask. We'll see what the referee calls.
Tell you, Nate, so key the development of Judd Price here in the early going of this season. Hard to believe that young man never played high school football before this year.
Yeah, certainly a big addition to the football program.
And that is going to be against Alexander Central. Personal foul, 15-yard penalty. Mentioned there on a late hit. But Price being the threat that he is, I believe that play right there, I think, is an instance of freeing Mason up just because the defense has to be honest against Price.
Yeah, absolutely. Mason able to get open underneath. And when you pick up 10, 12 yards at a time like that, that makes your offense play even smoother out there.
Here we're going to the ground game again with Sullivan. He's tripped up, finally brought down by Devontae Clark. He's going to go both ways this game. For Alexander Central, just a gain of 1. As we'll see Clark at running back and linebacker in tonight's contest. Second down, they call it 11 to go. Ellis fires a dart, and it's complete, and into the end zone goes Judd Price.
And beautiful route by Judd Price. No coverage able to stop that when you can make a cut that quick up the middle. 25-yard touchdown pass.
And how about that throw delivered on cue from Colin Ellis? Price got a step on the defense, but that was just a bullet downfield.
Yeah, that was a great drive altogether, but that throw really just sums up that series for Ashe. Just a terrific throw. Ellis put that one right on the numbers.
And the extra point attempt is up, and it's good. So the Huskies even things up here at the 7:30 mark in the 2nd quarter. And we'll take a look once again at that Ashe County Ford drive to the end zone. I'll tell you, Nate, a very nice drive put together again by the Ashe County Huskies.
Yeah, 7 plays, 66 yards, just a little over a minute and a half off the clock. But could not have possibly ended that much better. Just a beautiful throw from Colin Ellis to Judd Price.
Got a little help there in the way of 15 yards did the Huskies with the personal foul against Alexander Central, but they will take it. It was a nice pass completion before that anyway to Mason McNeils. The Huskies, they look to be on a roll now on the offensive side of the ball.
They've got the offense going. If they can get the defense to get a few stops here, maybe force a couple of turnovers, Ashe could really start to pull away a little bit here unless the Cougars make a big change on defense. Their pass coverage just hasn't been there yet so far tonight.
So those teams have found the end zone twice. Not even a quarter and a half into the ball game. And we'll see another booming kick downfield. This one will be fielded just shy of the goal line, however. Trying to make some room up the middle is Clark, still powering his way forward. He's out near the 35-yard line. What a return there from Clark.
Yeah, good return there from your captain. That's going to set the Cougar offense up with some nice field position. We'll see if they can match what the Huskies just did, put themselves back in the lead.
So every time you look up, he's got his hands on the Husky offensive player or his hands on the ball. He's their tailback. He's also linebacker on defense, and there he's the return man. A do-it-all player for the Cougars. And Nate, it looks like Hammer's back into the ball game at quarterback.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a surprise after that last series, especially that last touchdown pass. Just a beautiful toss from Gunnar Anderson, but looks like Landon Hammer, he's the senior. He's the guy that's been here before. If he's healthy, he's going to play. There's
the toss to the outside of the option. Ball carrier, I should say, excuse me, going to be forced out of bounds there by Luis Ramos. Nice to see him back on the field as we talked about sort of the progression plan last week. What has that stayed here and going forward for Luis?
Well, Coach Hampton talked that he would hope to get at least 3 quarters tonight from Ramos and have him ready to play a full game when we open conference play, which will be next week against Allegheny. So don't know how much we'll get tonight, but Coach Hampton hoping to get 3 solid quarters from the big defensive tackle.
He can be a game changer on that front 7 for the Huskies on defense. We see the carry up the middle by Clark again. He's got across the 45-yard line. That'll be enough to move the chains once again for the Cougars. First down. We'll see Ramos head to the sideline. You got to think conditioning may be a bit of an issue for him, still working his way back in. I don't care how much you work out, it's a lot different being in the game.
Oh, yeah, especially missing pretty much a whole year of football. And certainly he's been working on that quite a bit. We've seen him checking in and out of the game quite a bit. But last week played a good solid half and hoping to get another quarter out of him this week. But, yeah, as you said, the game condition is a little bit different than just running around the field, building up some endurance. But so far tonight we've seen him out there. He's been in on a few plays, and it's been a little bit of a difference on the defensive line. You can tell Alexander Central hasn't really dominated up the middle like teams in the past did against us.
Hammer that time showing no ill effects again from that early or sustained injury. Picks up 4 yards there, takes it to midfield on the keep, and here he goes again, same play. And man, look at him bowling his way forward, lowers that shoulder. That's another first down, takes it into Husky territory.
And Hammer able to take advantage of the Huskies up the middle there. Of course, we see Ramos not in the game on that, almost on cue there. Alexander Central takes advantage of that and gets quite a few yards up the middle, takes it down to the 36.
As you mentioned there, marking down at the 36 of the Ashe County Huskies. 1st and 10. And we're getting in the call from the sideline there, Coach Nick Basil. And hold everything as we are going to have a timeout on the field from Coach Basil. Play clock starting to wind down there for Alexander Central. He'll avoid the penalty with a quick TO. That is a Little's Health and Fitness Center timeout. Once again, Little's Health and Fitness Center in West Jefferson, inviting you to take time out of your day, get active, check them out on Radio Hill in West Jefferson. So, Nate, what do you think the reason there for the timeout was from Basil? Didn't like what he saw from his offense, or what's he trying to draw up differently here, you think, going forward on this drive with 5:07 left in the quarter?
Well, one of the tough things you get with a no-huddle offense, sometimes, you know, some of your players aren't always on the same page, and always the game clock's always a concern. If you're not really sure what's going on, that might have been the issue there, but may have just decided they didn't like what he just called up. He needed to call a timeout. So we'll see what the Cougars do on this drive.
So back to the action. 1st and 10 after the TO. Ball on the Ashe County 36-yard line. Hammer keeping it himself. There's the pitch. The ball comes loose. Hammer's able to fall on it, but he's back at his own 45-yard line. Excuse me, on the Husky 45. Big time loss there, about 9 yards.
That's a tough play there on the option. That's always a concern. If you miss on a pitch like that, you're going to lose a whole lot of yards. And right there, it come to bite the Cougars. That will be a 9-yard loss, and put them up against it. You're going to need a whole lot of yards there to get a first down.
Second down. 17 yards to go, we'll call it. Ball back on the 45-yard line. Clark that time up the gut once again on the dive play. Gets it to the 40. Nice gainer there. And 2nd and long.
Like Ben Brown in there on the tackle.
3rd down, about 13 yards to go. Just inside the 4-minute mark now. And in motion to the left side with a reverse handoff, the counter play, I should say. Gets down inside of the 40, but not much more. Godfrey bottled up quickly, and here we have a interesting choice here from Coach Basil. What do you do if you're him here, 4th and long?
Yeah, you're in about no man's land here. If you punt it, there's a good chance it may go into the end zone. You may not get many yards at all, but if you go for it, it's tough if you're a big-time running team to be able to get 11 yards. But we saw a lot of guys coming in and out for Alexander Central, so they may be going for a punt here.
It looks like they will line up for the kick on 4th down and 11 on the Husky 38. And he does get this one off. Pretty good punt there. All in all, Ashe County will take over here on their own 20-yard line, 1st and 10.
Yeah, solid punt there, not to punt it all the way into the end zone. Might have liked to have backed them up a few more yards, but still saved them a few yards there, especially if they wouldn't have been able to convert on that 4th down.
Yeah, not bad at all after it's all said and done, pinning them inside their own 20. Ashe County will take over 1st and 10 on the 18-yard line. 2:57 to go before the half. Still plenty of time for the Huskies. Don't have to be in any kind of hurry on this drive. There's a nice throw across the middle. Nearly intercepted, though. A great diving effort by the defense. We've called his name tonight on the other side, Jonathan Barnett.
Yeah, good attempt there at the interception. And Jacob Parson looked like he was underneath, too. Tried to run under the route and pick that one off. Went a little bit over his head, but Ashe might have gotten away with another questionable throw there over the middle.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10 after the incompletion from Ellis. Now he's firing quickly to the far side. That one is swatted down, though. Jacob Watson, nice job by him, knocking that one down out of the air.
Yeah, senior linebacker read that play perfectly there, able to get his hands up, knock that pass down just like that. It's going to be a quick 3rd down here for Ashe.
Not how the Huskies hope to respond after forcing the punt. But defense, they don't want to go back on the field just yet, Nate.
Yeah, they able to force a punt and get off the field, but hoping the Ashe offense could give them a little bit more of a break here and could use a big 3rd down conversion on this play.
We'll see what the Huskies do now. 3rd and long. Ellis, he's going to tuck and run. He's got some open space now, makes a few nice cutbacks, diving ahead. He's out across the 25-yard line. That's going to be close to a first down, depending on the spot.
Yeah, it's going to be close. We'll see if they decide to measure here.
He's right on it. It's going to be right at the 28.
The official's eyeing it down pretty good. And we're going to have a measurement.
So bring on the chain gang. So we get an official timeout right now. Nate, you got to think this is a huge play right here with 2:17 to go in the half. It's either going to be 4th and inches for the Huskies in your own territory. It's going to be a punting situation. Could give Alexander Central some great field position, or you got to keep this drive alive. And what is the ruling? Oh, we're still waiting to see.
And they are going to rule it 4th down.
Oh, man, just by the slimmest of margins.
The ref's talking about that one, laughing a little bit. Not even sure what to hold up for a distance on that. Just hold up your pinky finger, maybe. Maybe that far.
Yeah, 4th and maybe an inch there, Nate. And the Huskies are leaving that offense on the field, rolling the dice. 4th and less than 1 on your own 28. Ellis, maybe they're just going to line up here. It looked like he was going for the hard snap count.
Yeah, we'll see if they actually snap the ball or not.
See if the Huskies go for it. And hold everything. We have a timeout on the field.
Yeah, it looked like Ashe may have been just trying to go for the offsides call there. See if they could get the Cougars to flinch a little bit. And don't blame Coach Hampton there for trying. Would have been a little bit surprised if he would have snapped the ball. But well, the safest play probably is the punt, but you never know. If you feel your offense is in a groove, you can leave them out there.
Little's Health and Fitness Center timeout. So the Huskies still have a couple of timeouts on their side.
Looks like they've left the offense out there anyway.
Alexander Central with 1, and you're right, Nate. Are they going for that hard snap count again? Do you think they're going to snap the ball?
Well, they do have another timeout if should they choose to try to go that route.
So 4th and 1 on their own 28 again, minute 53 on the clock, and they're going to keep it on the ground. And flags fly, though, so blow the play dead.
Oh, tough break there. False start penalty. Well, they might have been going for a quick quarterback sneak there, but looks like the line got a little bit ahead of the snap. Unfortunately, going to be a false start penalty. And that'll certainly guarantee a punt coming now.
Yeah, a little overzealous maybe by the guys up front. So false start against the Huskies. 4th down and 5, bringing on Mason McNeil to punt this one away. And they're going to fake it. Here goes Mason McNeil off to the races on the far side of the field. Did he get enough to move those chains? It's going to be close. Looks like he does.
I think he's got it this time.
And the Ashe County offense comes back onto the field. So you talk about a gutsy call there, Nate.
Wow, that was if that was a coach's call, that was a great call. If that was Mason doing it on his own, that's a very, very gutsy decision. But don't blame him there. Had the wide side of the field and didn't look like Alexander Central had a whole lot of guys over there. They certainly did not expect a fake punt at all. And McNeil able to pick up those 6 yards.
So mark it 1st and 10 on the 29-yard line. New life here for the Ashe County offense. Ellis fires this one to the near side. It is caught, hits him in stride. Mason McNeil trying to shrug off the defender. Cannot get him off, but he's all the way down to the 25-yard line. 1st down, Huskies.
Wow, looked like Jacob Parson there, a little bit of a cheap shot. Not sure the refs even called it. Looks like he hit Mason McNeil right in the face. I don't know if the officials didn't see it or. Wow.
Either way, it's a 1st down. You say maybe a bit of a cheap shot that time. Move it all the way to the 27-yard line of Alexander Central. 1st down, Ashe County. Ellis dropping back, now going to the other side of the field. And this time led his man a bit too much. He was looking in the way of Grant Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson was there, but the throw just a little bit off. Good thought, though, to go underneath there, especially only one timeout left. He could have probably got out of bounds, saved a little bit more time. Minute 17 on the clock.
He's in a good spot here, though. On the 27-yard line.
Let's go.
Ellis takes the snap in the gun, steps up, fires it, nearly intercepted, and it should have been. Dropped a surefire pick, did Austin Wooten.
Yeah, Austin Wooten there, junior defensive back, and that hit him in a bad spot, hit him right in the hands. He's really going to wish he could have that one back. That should have been intercepted, put an end to this drive. But Ashe, we've seen him dodge that a few times tonight. Some passes that really should have been picked off, just weren't picked off. And Colin lives on
Probably
for
none,
another down.
None more than that one. New life here for the Huskies, a second chance, and can't make the most out of this one. Setting up maybe for a possible screenplay for the H-back, Sullivan. That's going to bring up 4th down and 10 at the 1:10 mark here in the second quarter. The Ashe County offense going to stay on the field. And we're going to get another timeout. So the Huskies call their second timeout of the half. It is the Little's Health and Fitness Center timeout.
Yeah, you don't really blame them here. You need the 4th down conversion, make sure everybody's on the same page.
This is actually Alexander Central burning the timeout there. Coach Hampton, what are you drawing up for this offense right now?
You're definitely going to try to, for sure, get those 10 yards. But if you got a chance to get something downfield, you're going to tell your quarterback to take what they give you. If you got a guy open, don't be afraid to let it fly. That's what this offense is built on. Got to have a confident quarterback back there making confident throws, and we've seen him convert once already on a big 4th down on a touchdown. So backs up against the wall a little bit, but something that the Huskies have been faced with already and able to convert. We'll see what they've decided to do on this play.
So 4th and 10, offense stays on the field. On the Cougar 27-yard line, Ellis in the gun, joined by Sullivan. All kinds of time, fires it out to the left. Pass is caught and forced out of bounds is Mason McNeil, but not before he picks up a huge first down, and the Husky drive stays alive.
Another great throw from Colin Ellis. Seems like when his back's up against the wall, that's when he's making his best throws, especially tonight. That was right on a line to Mason McNeil. Gets a big first down near the 10-yard line here. Looks like they're going to call it at the 12. See what Ashe can do here. Minute 6 left. See if we can put this one in the end zone.
Still get the first down on the 12-yard line. Ellis in the gun again. This time goes into the right side of the field. It is caught by Judd Price, and another touchdown for the junior wideout.
Price, he's just really coming on strong. Not much more you can say about that. Having a heck of a season here early on. And a real good compliment to Mason McNeil. We love to see that. Colin Ellis getting even more weapons to work with.
How many weapons could you use? More.
Always.
You never have too many options on the field. The extra point attempt, though, off the mark, so they'll have to settle for 6. 20-14 at the 1:02 mark, though. The Huskies forge ahead with momentum clearly on their side now. After another nice drive, and we'll take a look at that Ashe County Ford drive to the end zone. Great time there by the Ashe County Huskies, burning off almost 2 minutes and on that 10-play drive.
Yeah, didn't leave Alexander Central a whole lot of time to do anything. Just a minute 2 left. But how about that? 10 plays, 82 yards. And we've seen the Huskies able to do both. They've been able to score quick at points this season, and they've been able to really sustain some drives like this one here with a 10-play drive to set up the score.
I think a big credit there to the maturity level that keeps increasing from this Husky team. We talked about them being inexperienced to start off the season, a lot of juniors on the team, a lot of first-year varsity players, and even some of the seniors, first-time starters. But, Nate, they're growing up quickly and showing a lot of moxie here in this game already.
Yeah, they're growing up at a good time, too, with conference play starting next week. And it would be a great way if Ashe could close out this game, able to get a win. It would be real nice to go into conference play with some good momentum.
Interesting choice here, short kickoff. And a nice hit there, sticking him was Richardson. Jake Richardson that time. Wasn't going to let him get away.
Looks like things get a little bit chippy over here between these two teams. You think these two teams played every year the way this is turning into here the last couple of minutes, but the first time these two have ever faced off on the gridiron. But they're playing out there like they've been old school rivals for a while.
Neither team giving an inch. So mark it at the 35-yard line after the return. Alexander Central comes back onto the field. 56.5 seconds to work with before they head to the locker rooms for halftime. Hammers still in the game at quarterback as they start another drive on offense, trailing now by 6, 20-14 to the Ashe County Huskies, working it left to right. Under center, man in motion in this option offense. The counter, and man, what an ankle tackle there by Tristan Jones.
Tristan Jones makes a terrific play there. Looks like the counter play had some yardage there, but Tristan makes a great tackle and puts an end to that real quick.
The ball carried down for a loss of 2, so we're now down to about 30 seconds left in the half. Alexander Central looks to be content just to go in here down by a score. Ball at the 33-yard line as we're now inside of 20 seconds. This time the handoff going up the middle, but going nowhere fast. And the Huskies say they have the ball, and indeed they do. It's a turnover. Coach Hampton over here yelling for a timeout. Referees still haven't acknowledged it yet. That clock is rolling.
Well, the clock shouldn't have been rolling anyway with the possible change of possession. I'm not sure what the deal was there. Ref should have stopped that clock a lot sooner than that. We should have at least more time than this, but I don't know if they'll do anything about it.
So as you talk about, a bit of confusion on the field now as Coach Hampton's begging for an explanation, I think, here from the head referee, as we will get a timeout from the Ashe County Huskies. He's wanting to know why that clock didn't stop. And I'm right there with him.
And he should be. That's a frustrating part of being a coach there. If once the play was over and if they thought the ball was on the ground, they certainly should have stopped that clock. No reason not to, but the ref decided to let it keep running. They lost probably 8 or 9 seconds there, at least.
That can be huge in a situation like this, trying to go up by another score with good field position. So they finally did stop it with half a second on the game clock. Not sure if they're going to take a look at the clock here. They certainly should. As you said, it should have at least about 7, 8 seconds on there.
Refs are talking about it, but not sure they're going to change anything up there. Ashe could have had a couple of plays with 10 seconds or so on the clock, but now with literally less than a second, you're just going to chuck it up to the end zone here and see if you got somebody that can pull it down. But if anybody can, we've got 2 receivers that have really shown up so far this season. They could really pull one in, and that'd really put a silencer on the crowd.
Ball on the 34-yard line, 1st and 10. Trips to the right. You know, this is just going to be a Hail Mary to the end zone. And here's the throw to the left. Looking that way and cannot hang on to it. Can Judd Price. That one will be broken up at the goal line. So the Huskies will have to settle for 1 touchdown lead, but they'll take it up 20-14 as we'll pause for the halftime. So great job there by the Huskies. Can't quite get the extra score as they head into the halftime break. But Nate, while we have a minute, we've got some halftime stats to look at here as the teams make their way to the locker rooms.
How about that, Ashe? 183 yards through the air already. And even more impressive, 3 for 3 on 4th down conversions. And I believe every one of those 4th down conversions have led to a score for us. So that's played an even bigger part in this ball game.
Yeah, you can't ever discount that 4th down conversion. That's just 1 for 5 on 3rd, but when it really matters, those 3 for 3, maybe the one that stands out most distinctly in my mind was Mason McNeil keeping it on that punt situation in his own 28-yard line.
Yeah, that was definitely a gutsy play, and worked out good for Ashe. Gutsy play, but it worked. That's something you got to be happy about. For Alexander Central, they've done most of their damage on the ground, 111 rushing yards on 24 carries. But it was that 49-yard pass play there, their only pass play of the night, that led to a score. So Cougars have to feel pretty good about where they're at as well.
So we will pause after the first half of action. We're in for a good one. Ashe County leads it at the half, 20-14 on the road tonight at Alexander Central High School. We'll be back with second half action after the halftime show. Here from Cougar Stadium, you're watching Friday Night Football on Sky Zone Sports on Sky Zone HD, Channel 1.
When it comes to insuring your home, business, automobiles, and property, you want an agency you can depend on. Miller Insurance has been serving this region for more than 60 years and are proud to now represent Everett Cash Mutual, which specializes in insuring farm property, equipment, livestock, and more. Before you renew your insurance policies, give us a call at 336-246-7151 or come see us in downtown West Jefferson. Miller Insurance is proud to be your hometown insurance agency that supports our hometown teams.
4G LTE is here from Carolina West Wireless. It's the fastest 4G data service available today, so you can enjoy downloads faster and send uploads without the wait. So bring on the apps and bring on the entertainment. And get ready for life at the speed of you. Visit your Carolina West Wireless store today and find out more about our new 4G LTE network, new products and rate plans.
Tonight, the Alexander Central High School 5 military armed forces units. As we present each service song, we ask that you please stand if you are currently serving or are a veteran of that service. The United States Army, established in June 14th, 1775, has prevailed as our nation's defender. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Army.
Yes! Yes!
The United States Navy portrays a rich heritage and deep commitment to our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Navy. The United States Coast Guard, with its motto, always ready, has fought in every war and ensures America's borders are always protected. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Coast Guard. The United States Marine Corps, with its motto, always faithful, is held high as the protector of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Marines. The United States Air Force is trained and equipped solely to exploit air and space power in defense of our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, our salute to our armed forces of the United States of America. Let's give them a round of applause. Tonight, we would like to pay special honor to the lives and memory of those who have given their lives protecting our freedoms. To date, over 1.3 million brave American men and women have died protecting America. Additionally, over 40,000 have never been accounted for and are classified as missing. Always remember, freedom is never free. We are privileged to have with us the following members of the Honor Guard from Alexander County, VFW, American Legion, and Disabled American Veterans. Gene Dagenhart, Floyd Benfield, James Benfield, Joyce Curley, Chris Knowlton, Jimmy Lambert, John Maddie, Terry Harrington, Albert Harrington, Jeff Carson, Earl Boston, Glenn Mays, Ray Brewer, and mindfulness. These veterans continue to stay active as they provide full military honors at our service grave sites. We are honored to have them with us this evening. Please join me as we observe a moment of silence, followed by 3 volley rifle salute and the playing of taps by senior band member Micah Chapman. We conclude this evening's halftime tribute to America with a song written by Irving Burley and made famous by Katie Smith. Played and sung often at sporting events, religious services, and political rallies, this song has been a great patriotic favorite since World War II. Please stand as we honor the United States with God Bless America.
Poor Trevor. There you go.
We also thank you for your continued support of our Alexander Central High School marching band as we join you in cheering on our Cougars to victory. Go Cougars!
I think if I go punch the ref, you think that'll do it?
Well, if you do punch one, you get caught on me.
Who's that one?
When it comes to insuring your home, business, automobiles, and property, you want an agency you can depend on. Miller Insurance has been serving this region for more than 60 years and are proud to now represent Everett Cash Mutual, which specializes in insuring farm property, equipment, livestock, and more. Before you renew your insurance policies, give us a call at 336-246-7151 or come see us in downtown West Jefferson. Miller Insurance is proud to be your hometown insurance agency that supports our hometown teams.
Ashe County Ford here. It's time to make the switch to Ashe County Ford. With $1,000 trade-in cash available, the time is now. Make the switch and save up to $9,500 off the 14 F-150s. Take a break. Come in and see the new redesigned 2015 F-150. With an all-aluminum body and tons of new features, Ford has done it again. Come see why Ashe County Ford sold the most certified pre-owned Fords in the region last year with 100,000 miles powertrain warranty, 24-hour roadside assistance, and low rates. You can't go wrong. Ashe County Ford. We don't just sell you a car, we make you a friend for life. Good evening once again. Welcome back into Cougar Stadium at Alexander Central High School. Getting ready to crank up the second half of tonight's edition of Friday Night Football on Sky Zone Sports, brought to you by Miller Insurance Agency in West Jefferson. Proudly serving the high country. Check out Miller Insurance for all your insurance needs. The Huskies break the huddle here, Nate. And a lot to like from that first half from the Ashe County Huskies.
Yeah, Ashe certainly done a much better job this time around against the run than they have in any of the previous three contests. And, you know, I'm sure Luis Ramos coming back helps out quite a bit. But also, you know, we've heard Coach Hammer talking about bringing up some of these JV kids, and maybe that's lighting a little bit of a fire under some of the varsity guys that, you know, they don't want to lose out on playing time, especially those that are seniors, don't want to spend much time on the bench their final year of eligibility. So we've seen a much improved defense. Of course, the offense has really started hitting its stride lately. And Colin Ellis with some great passes tonight. Also had a few should have been picked off, but several really good passes. And what can you say? Just money on fourth down tonight. That's been another huge reason why Ashe is ahead.
Yeah, 3 for 3 as we took a look there at the stats just before the half. And we're underway with the third quarter. Nice booming kick by Richardson, fielded right on the 1-yard line. Clark, he's wanting to bring it back, trying to get some room on the edge, crossing away, and nothing doing there. Closing in quickly is Sam Hudler on special teams.
And Sam Hudler showing off that track speed right there. One of the better track runners the Huskies have, but great play there from the senior.
They're fired up over here on the Husky sideline.
You can hear those cowbells ringing.
Talked about that first half there from Colin Ellis. 11 of 23, 183 yards and 3 TDs. And how about the dynamic duo, we'll call them on the outside. Mason McNeil, 6 catches, 123 yards in that first half. And Judd Price, 4 catches, 57 yards. He did his damage there in the end zone. 3 touchdown receptions in the first half for Price.
Yeah, just a great job from the Husky offense, and hopefully the defense can keep it up as well. Ashe, one of the few times we've seen them have much of a lead in a game this year. Here into the third quarter, we'll see what Ashe can do, see if they can hold on, and maybe be able to put that first win in the win column.
So we talked about great coverage there. Closing speed from Hudler. Alexander Central started that drive on their own 6-yard line, Nate. So tough going there. The back's against the wall. Gain of about 2, they'll call it there. Mark it 2nd down and 8 now. All inside their own 10. Hammer under center. He's still man in the QB position. And there he's showing off his wheels to the outside. Showing no ill effects as we start off this third quarter. He's out there near the 20-yard line, 1st down.
Yeah, Cougars have to be pretty happy with that. You definitely don't want to have to replace your quarterback, even though your backup came in and threw a great touchdown pass. It's still, he's the senior, he's the leader of your team. You hope he can hang in there, be able to play okay through the injury.
And the lead guys from the first half for Alexander Central, Devontae Clark leading the way on the ground. 9 carries, 41 yards, almost 5 yards per carry average and a TD. Gunnar Anderson, you mentioned him coming in, throwing that touchdown pass to Matt Fedota, 49 yards. He's 2 for 2 throwing the ball. Hammer 0 for 2, but he does have some nice scampers. 7 carries, 38 yards for the QB out of this option attack. It looks like they're more prone to throw the ball with Anderson in the ball game. And they are with Hammer. There's a fumble on the play. Diving in, coming up with it are the Ashe County Huskies.
Great awareness there. That looked like Sam Henson in on the play. Might have been Ben Brown. Couldn't quite tell which linebacker it was.
I think it was Brown there, Nate.
May have been, and just a great awareness there, scooping up that live ball. And how about Ashe? Great field position for the offense. Couldn't have asked for a much better start.
We saw him come up with the takeaway right at the end of the half. Couldn't convert on a long-distance play there, but last-ditch heave to the end zone with half a second on the clock. Didn't pay off, but you got to think this one will, Nate. Ball on the 14-yard line, deep in red zone territory.
Yeah, Ashe able to keep the momentum going. And sometimes they say turnovers are contagious, and we've seen two quick ones in a row from the Cougars.
Ellis takes the shotgun snap, looking to the left corner of the end zone, going up and not making it, but that's a lot of contact. And I believe Price may have drawn another pass interference.
I certainly think that's what the flag will be. Jonathan Barnett in coverage, but once again, a little bit outsized, only 5'8", 154 pounds. Judd Price able to go up in the air and make a play on that ball. Barnett, not much choice, and it will be a pass interference penalty. It should be first down, first and goal from around the 7.
I'll tell you, Nate, Judd Price, he's just going to outwork you there on the outside. I don't care who's defending him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just a workhorse out there at wide receiver. He's going to make every play he can on the ball. We've seen him lay out 2 or 3 times just tonight, so he's certainly going to go out there and give it his all. And as a team, you love to see kids doing that. That really boosts the spirits of everybody out there.
First and goal from the 7. Handoff goes to Sullivan. Look at this, cutting it back, refusing to go down. Still on his feet, and he's into the end zone.
Powerful run from the junior running back. Gotta love seeing that. Sullivan cashes that one in. Team celebrate. How about a great start to the quarter for Ashe?
Can't do much better than that as the Huskies take a 2-score advantage now behind the legs of Sky Sullivan as we look at the Mountain Outfitters replay. Refusing to go down, Nate. He took 4 or 5 defenders with him on into the end zone.
Yeah, that's a great run there. It wasn't a very long run, but I tell you, it was a real powerful run. And sometimes that's what running backs like the most, just running through some tackles makes them feel even better.
Extra point is no good. We've seen Richardson miscue a couple of those extra point attempts. Huskies will settle for 6 and a 12-point advantage at the 10:48 mark. 26-14, and the Ashe County Huskies looking good to crank up the third quarter. Points off of turnovers, Nate. They talk about it. That can be a big-time killer for teams sometimes.
Yeah, and Ashe really got the momentum all on their side now, especially after those 2 turnovers. And Huskies, maybe the first time all year they've had a 2-touchdown lead, but certainly have to feel happy for them. And the other team's really fired up on the sidelines. And can't ask for a much quicker score than that. 1-play score. Nice job for the Huskies.
Yeah, officially 1 play. There was the flag that gave the Huskies some nice yardage, and capping it off, 7-yard run by Sky Sullivan. Extra point attempt was off the mark from Richardson. But Ashe County looking pretty good right now, up 26-14. As Sullivan was able to tack on another score. Richardson will look to straighten things out on this kickoff. And that one goes into the end zone. And we'll see the Cougars come back onto the field. 1st and 10 on their own 20. They're just hoping they can hang on to the ball this time.
Yeah, Alexander Central got to be a little bit frustrated. They've been running their bread and butter offense, but the last few times it's just slipped right out of their hands. And you got to give credit to the Husky defense. These guys aren't just dropping it on their own. The Ashe defenders get in there ripping at that ball.
There's a nice run by Clark. Out across the 30-yard line, spot at the 32. Nice job of running downhill from the senior captain. Give him a fresh set of downs. Hammer keeps it himself this time, lowers the shoulder. Tripped up there by Tristan Jones. Not before he picks up about 2 or 3 yards. Gain of 4 officially. Puts it to the 36-yard line. And going back to talking about Judd Price, it seemed like he really had his coming out party on the kickoff return for a touchdown against Watauga, and he's just been on fire since then.
Yeah, that really started. It didn't hardly call his name at all in that North Surrey game. But that, as you said, that kickoff return, that really showed the coaches and the fans and the team what he's capable of, even though he hasn't played football in quite a while, probably since the middle school days. But certainly a good athlete, and he's really just taken off ever since.
Yeah, it really flipped the switch for Price. We've been calling his name a lot ever since that kickoff return for the TD, as you said. Had some good balls thrown his way in that opening game of the season. He came up with a couple of nice catches, but really, he's come into his own since the second game of the year.
That's how they call
And we're
it.
getting the signal
Like,
from Coach Basil on the far sideline. The senior signal caller.
Like a basketball goal. I don't know.
More dangerous with his legs, but he's going to go to the air this time. And deep pass is in and out of the hands of the receiver.
Looking for tight end Josh Bolick on that play. Just could not hang on to the ball. He was open, just dropped the pass.
So Hammer delivered a nice one there. A few passes we've seen, said their stats showed us 0 for 2 in the first half. That makes him 0 for 3. Curious decision there, and now they'll line up to punt on 4th and 3. Oh, they're going to fake it. Hammer racing off to the right side. Did he get enough for the first? It's going to be close. I don't know, Nate. He's right there at the marker.
That is close. So they're not even going to measure. They're going to go ahead and say he was short. And great stand from the Husky defense.
How about that? The Huskies force a turnover on downs. Tried to fake it on the 4th and short. It does not pay off for Coach Basil and the Cougars, and now the Huskies are in business again, starting off this drive on the 41-yard line of the Alexander Central Cougars.
Another big burst in momentum for Ashe. A great job there staying at home on that fake punt. Maybe they'd seen some tape of that before. They were certainly ready for it.
1st and 10 as Ellis goes back to work, hands it off, but Sullivan slipped as soon as he took the handoff. He stopped well behind the line of scrimmage. Call that one a tackle by the turf.
The old turf monster, it's always undefeated.
.8:35 and counting now. 26-14, Huskies with the ball in the lead. 2nd down and 12 on the 46-yard line of Alexander Central. Ellis makes a strong throw down the middle, and an even better catch that time from Mason McNeil in traffic.
Yeah, McNeil just tough to bring down, tough to cover as well. Looks like they tried to put Matt Fedota on him that time. One of the better athletes that Alexander Central has, but even he couldn't do anything with McNeil.
Give the Huskies a 1st down. This offense really clicking now.
Yeah, this is what Coach Hampton certainly envisioned this offense looking like. And you know, if he had his way, Colin Ellis might even run a little bit more, but this is definitely how he wanted to see the young guy throw the ball.
Plenty of time for Ellis. Delivers a strike, but just cannot hang on to it. Ken Louder. Nice coverage there in the secondary, though, but had all day to throw. Did Colin Ellis. Got to give props there to that offensive line. Some good coverage downfield against Louder. So that'll make it 2nd down and 10. Ball on the Cougar 24-yard line. 7:49 on the clock. Ellis all kinds of time to throw and drop this one, did Sky Sullivan.
2 drops in a row for the Huskies. You haven't seen that very much since week 1.
So now that'll bring up 3rd and 10 for the Huskies after another incompletion. They're going to bring Sullivan out and go with Hudler in there, another wide out. See if they go to this empty set. And indeed they will, Nate. 5 wide now for the Huskies. Trips to the right. The dynamic duo, Price and McNeil, to the left, lining up. Ellis in some trouble trying to evade tacklers, but he is dropped for a sack on the play.
Man, that's one of the drawbacks of going with an empty set. There's just there's usually too many men to block there. You'll usually see a defense bring an extra blitzer there. And right there, the defense gets through and takes Ellis down for a loss. But we've seen it work well also having 5 wideouts. We saw it work well against Watauga. But there, just a tough break for Ashe.
4th down and 20 to go on the 34-yard line of Alexander Central. And the Huskies staying out there on offense, 5 wide set, empty backfield. There's a deep throw to the left, and it's caught. Judd Price making a leaping catch, and he's down inside the 10.
I'll tell you what, for the 4th time tonight, just another terrific play on 4th down. This one 4th and 20. And that'll give Ashe a 1st down, a big-time backbreaker for the Cougar defense. What a great catch from Judd Price. This is going to be 1st and goal at the 5.
So how about that, Nate? Another 4th down conversion, this time on 4th and 20. And the Huskies are in business down at the 5-yard line, as you mentioned, 1st down and goal. There's the snap to Ellis. He's going to hand it off, but Sullivan bottled up and slung to the ground with authority by about 3 or 4 defenders.
That's how the Cougar defensive line had their way with the Ashe linemen there. We saw 3 or 4 guys just break through. Sky Sullivan never had a chance on that. He barely got the handoff before he was swarmed.
Drop him for a loss of 3 on the play, they'll say. Back at the 8-yard line. That'll set up 2nd down and goal for the Ashe County Huskies. Working with the 2-score advantage, looking to tack on here. Up 26-14 at the 6:35 and counting mark in this 3rd quarter. Ellis throwing on the run. Did he hang on to it? Yes, touchdown Huskies.
And Ashe starting to look good right here on offense. We've seen 3 straight great possessions from the Huskies. And how about that? Adding on to their lead already. Alexander Central's got to wonder what in the world's going on. They've not been able to hang on to the football, plus that bad fake punt attempt. And Ashe has just really instilled their will here against the Cougars.
You saw a nice look there on the Mountain Outfitters replay. I believe that's McNeil's 1st touchdown catch of the night, as he's found pay dirt once again after we'll call it a 1.5 game absence. Now the Huskies lining up to go for it. Ellis fires it to the end zone. This one, though, incomplete. 2-point conversion attempt is no good, so the Huskies will settle for 6. The damage has still been done. At the 6:29 mark, they are up on the road, 32-14 against the Alexander Central Cougars. And now we'll take a look at that. Ashe County Ford drive to the end zone. And it was a good one, Nate.
Sure was. 8 plays, 41 yards. Took a little over 2.5 minutes off the clock. And as you said, McNeil finding the end zone for the 1st time tonight. 7-yard pass from Ellis to McNeil. And Ashe looking good so far, up 32-14. A lot of time left in the game, but also Alexander Central, a team that loves to run the ball a lot, and starting to slip away a little bit. If they're going to stick to the ground game, they may not want to, but they may have to go to the air to try to get some bigger yards and get some quicker strikes than just grounding one out.
So the Huskies looking good and feeling good on that sideline. 32-14. This is more of what we've been accustomed to with this air raid offense over the last year, and then hopefully this will be the trend going forward for the Huskies.
Yes, especially with Colin coming back. He'll be a senior next year. And how about Judd Price? We can't imagine how he's going to do with a full year here. And an off season in the weight room, he'll be even better next year.
Clark fumbled it a bit on the return, and then found the handle, and boy, half a dozen tacklers found him. A pack of Huskies bringing him down.
Yeah, you can pretty much look at a number out there, and he might have been in on that play with as many Husky defenders that was out there now.
So they closed in quickly. On the special teams unit, they've done a great job here tonight covering the return man. Bottling him up at the 23-yard line. Alexander Central comes on again, 1st and 10, under the direction of senior QB Landon Hammer.
Yeah, we'll see what Alexander Central decides to do here. They can keep going to the ground for a little while, but at some point they're going to have to reel off some big yardage plays.
And the ball comes loose again. Looks like the Huskies have the ball and give it to them.
Yeah, what a night so far for the Ashe defense. You can't ask for much more than this, but Cougar players have to be absolutely shell-shocked. It seems like they can barely get a ball in play before they fumble it or turn it over or make a bad play. But Ashe, if they can capitalize on this, they can almost put this baby to bed.
That Ashe County squad fired up on the sidelines here, that defensive unit. A lot to like right now, and Alexander Central, those fumbles just becoming contagious at this point.
Yeah, it's been rough so far for them. The last couple of minutes of the first half, and then all of this third quarter has just been tough.
1st and 10, and that's all they need. Touchdown Huskies. McNeil finds the end zone once again.
Perfect pass over the top. The Cougar defense have no idea what just happened. The last 6 minutes, they've just been a complete loss out there. How about the Husky offense? This is what fans have been waiting for all year, just picking apart a pretty talented Cougar team.
Welcome back, air raid offense. This is what we came to see. You talked about it, Nate. Makes it 38-14 as we look at the Miller Insurance scoreboard at the 6:10 mark. Looks like they're just going to go for the extra point. No good again from Richardson. Boy, you don't see that a lot, Nate. He's missed on 3 attempts tonight already.
Yeah, he's struggling with those kicks tonight. It's certainly not used to seeing it at all. He struggled a little bit against Watauga, but tonight's really been a big-time struggle.
So that Ashe County Ford drive to the end zone, short and sweet, Nate. One play is all it took.
Yeah, how about a 5-second touchdown? Your team will take that every day of the week.
Great pass since McNeil. Hadn't seen the end zones we mentioned there for a game and a half. Well, he's found it here, what, in the last 5 minutes of time, less than a minute of game time.
Oh, yeah, he's really got it rolling now. The whole offense has, but he's really gotten into a groove, maybe getting a little bit jealous of the spotlight Judd Price has gotten the last couple of games. This time he decides he wanted it back.
Yeah, he's saying I was 2A preseason selection in the state for a reason at the receiver. Showing it off there, the great hands from McNeil and the great route. Now we'll see Kendall Richardson boot this one on the kickoff. And it's a short kick, will be fielded at the 30-yard line. And there comes a flag out. And an interesting call here, Nate. Was that a fair catch called for? And
you know, I'm not really sure what the rule is on that, but looked like a fair catch, and then somebody else picked the ball up. A little bit of confusion here, but
yeah, even from the referees. 'Cause I believe a fair catch was called for, but then a different return man picked up the ball. And now they've backed him up to the the 19-yard line now. And I guess that's where we're going to start off this drive here, Nate. So after all that, it's 1st and 10 on the 19 at the 6:07 mark. Hammer under center, looking to direct this offense, trying to get things going back in their favor. As we see the toss to the outside. They like this play all night long. It's not been there, but boy, this time it is, and he answers the call. Does Bryson Godfrey.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't went to it a little bit more. Godfrey got a lot of speed out there. He's certainly not going to take much of a punishment up inside. Not a very big kid, but he's got the wheels on the outside, and we've seen it work some, not as much as it has on that play, though.
Give him a fresh set of downs at the 37-yard line.
So I know that that's where the time was when we watch it back tonight. It's a joint I always do when we get home.
38-14 in favor of the Huskies. They'll stick with the ground game. Here's the handoff up the middle and a nice run, switching fields and getting that first down and then some. It was Devin Weiss, the sophomore. Running back, haven't called his name yet tonight. Takes it all the way to the Ashe County 45-yard line, first down.
Nice little response here from the Cougars. They're just happy to be able to take a few snaps and not turn the ball over at this point.
That's what I was going to say. It's got to be considered successful already on this drive. Just keeping the ball in their hands. Hammer keeps it himself. Cutting it back up the middle. He's got the first down and then some, but the ball pops out. Coming back the other way, that's Price. He's got some open field and finally going to be forced out of bounds just when we said they're hanging on to the ball. There comes the ball loose, and the fumble kills them again.
And a late flag as well. Looked like he was tackled nearly out there on the track. They might get Alexander Central here for a late hit. Not 100% sure, but man, the wheels have just completely fallen off the Cougar train.
That Husky defense wreaking havoc right now. What do we call this, Nate? Fumbleitis?
A severe case.
So Alexander Central can't hang on to the ball. And as you said, this train has been derailed in this option attack. They just can't catch a break. And we're still waiting on the official call. You can see that flag come in late into the picture. And as you mentioned, it certainly looked like it would be in a late hit. So there's actually two penalties, Nate. First one against the Huskies, and the second one on the late hit. Personal foul called. Either way, it's going to be Ashe County ball. And it'll be at the 47-yard line of the Cougars. So Ashe getting some great field position as well after another turnover by Alexander Central.
Yeah, Alexander Central really struggling, to say the least, here in the second half. I don't think they've really even had a chance to get into the ball game here. Just too many turnovers, and the Ashe offense just making them pay.
Ellis joined by Sullivan in the backfield. Feeling some heat, but delivers a nice ball downfield, but over the head. A little bit of miscommunication that time between he and Mason McNeil over his head. That'll fall incomplete. Was feeling a bit of pressure that time. Forced an errant throw by Ellis. Tell you what, Nate, this third quarter, he's been on the money.
Yeah, it's been a great quarter for Colin Ellis and the Huskies in general. The offense just really playing an almost flawless quarter of football so far.
So we'll do it again. On Alexander Central's 47. Ellis pump fakes on the far side, now rolling it here, throws it at the near hash mark, and Louder hangs on to it, and he's racing ahead for a first down. Joseph Louder making a nice catch on the run. Nice little check down toss, but we do see a flag is on the field. Not sure who that one's going against. Initial signals look like the Huskies. So the referee's having a chat with Sky Sullivan, who would like a little bit of an explanation. So I'm not sure even what the call was there. It's going to be in favor of the Huskies. Second down and 4. Excuse me, no, back 10 yards. They do gain some yards out of the play regardless. This time Ellis going to keep it himself, use his legs. Fights forward, but little to nothing doing there. Maybe a yard, if that.
Nice stop from Cody Blankenship up the middle. Kept Colin Ellis from getting into that secondary.
So no gain, they'll say. Third down and 4 for the Huskies. Just inside the 41-yard line of the Cougars as we're approaching the 4.5-minute mark in the third quarter. Ellis looking deep on the near side. The pass is caught by Judd Price, went over the would-be defender and takes the ball away from him and pulls it in for a big first down. That's a 1st and goal for the Huskies.
Yeah, Alexander Central defensive back Luke Sharp there. He's just got to wonder what all could go wrong for the Cougars. He was in great position. The Price, just a terrific athletic play there. Pulls that one in. And Ashe right there again near touchdown land.
Ball on the 9. 1st and goal for the Huskies. Judd Price played a little bit of leapfrog inside the 10-yard line to make that catch. Ellis looking end zone, has his man. It's caught. Touchdown Huskies. Grant Thompson, who's also the backup QB, comes up with his first touchdown reception of the night.
And how about Grant Thompson getting into the action there? Great job from the youngster pulling that one in. And another guy we hardly even talk about, but he's got some very nice athletic ability as well. And able to show it off on that route, getting open.
Richardson on for the PAT. McNeil to hold. See if he can straighten things out on the extra point attempts. He's missed 3 tonight. This one, however, is good. At the 4:21 mark, the Huskies strike again. Nate, it is all Ashe County now, 45-14. The Huskies fully in control.
Yeah, the Huskies have to feel really good about this one. 4-play, 48-yard drive. Minute 5 off the clock and capped off. Is that Ellis's 6th touchdown pass of the night?
I believe it is, Nate. That is
great
number
game
6.
from your junior quarterback. Certainly the best game of his young career, and hopefully one of many, many more for the Huskies.
And already, yes, that is 6. So he tied a record, I should say, with Connor Bowers, who opened it up last season with 6 touchdown throws against North Surrey.
Just a great way for him to bounce back. Tough week last week against High Brighton, but how about tonight, Alexander Central, different game, completely different story. Ashe up big, and now let's just hope the defense goes out there, does their job for the next quarter and a half, and brings this game home for Ashe.
So at the 4:21 mark, Ashe will kick it off. After another score, 45-14. This has been a wild third period of play. If you're just tuning in, it's been, what, 4 fumbles, I believe, in this period alone from Alexander Central?
Yeah, it's been a tough half for the Cougars.
This time the fair catch is called for and made. No confusion from the referees that time. That was made by number 84, Jonathan Barnett. Called his name quite a bit tonight on the side of the Cougars. And now, Nate, with what's the rule here in high school football again now with a 31-point lead? Will it be a continuous clock?
No, I think it has to get up to 42 points before 42. It'll be that.
Couldn't remember exactly what the rule was put into place last year. We have a new quarterback out on the field.
Yeah, don't blame him. It looked like Landon Hammer was certainly slow getting up after that last fumble. And, Gunners really showed a good arm so far in his first couple of throws we've seen, so they may decide to go to the air quite a bit more now.
And on cue, there they go to the far sideline. This one just out of the hands of the outstretched receiver, looking in the way of Matt Fedota, who he hooked up with on a similar route in the first half for a touchdown. That time, though, just a bit overthrown.
Yeah, good coverage there from Ashe. Had 3 guys back there. Just a tough way to fit that one in.
I think we have a flag on the field. Thrown back around the line of scrimmage. That one came into the picture late and wave it off. Gotta love those, Nate.
Yeah, sometimes you're just going to say it fell out of my pocket. Didn't mean for it to happen.
So just an incomplete pass is the ruling. No flag on the play. 4:16 to go. Second down and 10. Alexander Central staring in the hole. A big-time deficit here, 31 points to be exact, trailing 45-14 in the third period. Nothing going their way. Here's a rollout for Anderson. Throw it on the run. Pass is caught. Nice job there. Still on his feet, working his way forward. And again, Bryson Godfrey breaking off a nice gainer that time after the catch.
And a nice little start there from the Cougars. See if they can keep this going. Try to cut into this Ashe lead, but it's certainly going to be a tough task.
Yeah, the way Ashe County can move the ball as they have here tonight, especially in this third period. Even if you do get some scores on the board, this defense doesn't look capable of stopping that Ashe County passing attack. Let's see what Alexander Central throws at this Husky defense. It's one of those games, Nate, really boosts your turnover margin. Anderson throwing to the near side now, has his man. It is caught by Barnett. Shakes off one would-be tackler, but he gets him the second time. He's all the way down to the 15-yard line.
Simon Houck, I think, with the saving tackle there, that could have easily been a touchdown. But the young man able to pull them down. But Barnett, he's had a tough night, especially defensively, but right there makes a big-time play. And that'll set the Cougars up with great field position in the red zone.
So hold everything on the 15. As you said, in red zone territory are the Cougars once again. It's been a while since we've been able to say that. There's the handoff to Godfrey. Stood up and slung to the ground by Tristan Jones with authority.
And Tristan Jones read that play perfectly, not fooled at all by the mixed direction.
Nice job by the junior linebacker. Approaching the 3-minute mark in what's been a long and tumultuous third period. Certainly been a roller coaster ride. Anderson on play action. Lobs one up into the end zone. It's a jump ball, and that one is picked off. Louder showing off his hands on defense and comes up with a big pick in the end zone. Nate, that was thrown into no man's land. There was no receiver nearby.
Yeah, it looks like the pass was intended for him, or maybe it was a punt or something. That was just a really poorly thrown ball, and Alexander Central coaches can't be happy with how that drive ended. They had a very promising start down near the Ashe goal line, but just a very bad turnover there.
Ashe had two defenders in the area, and Louder making a nice play on defense. Saw him make a nice catch on the last drive for the Huskies. And Ashe County, another turnover forced. And they'll set up after the touchback ruling there, after the pick on the 20-yard line. You see a flag, and that is going to go against the defense of Alexander Central. When it rains, it pours, Nate.
I tell you, it's just a tough time for the Cougars and their fans right now. They're just really falling apart in the second half. I don't think anybody saw this coming.
This is one of those quarters you just want to forget.
Absolutely. You're going to put this one to bed, hopefully, and just regroup and get ready for next week if you're Alexander Central.
Sullivan spins away from one would-be tackler, but bottled up after that by a host of Cougars. Little to nothing on that play. As we're inside 2.5 minutes in the third quarter, all Huskies 45-14. They've got the ball after another turnover in the end zone. Just couldn't believe how open Louder was there, Nate. Like you said, it looked just like a play drawn up for him.
Yeah, that was either a really bad throw or a big-time miscommunication, but it looked like you could have had two Huskies there that could have picked that off before a Cougar receiver got into the area.
Now we know the Huskies probably going to be looking to just milk some clock, as evidenced here by the first couple of plays. Runs by Sky Sullivan, although little gain on either. as we're inside of 2 minutes in this third quarter.
And sometimes we've seen this be a little bit of a problem for Ashe, not able to run the ball very well and run out much clock. And we'll see how long Ashe decides to stick with the game plan. You got to think they got to start picking up some yards doing this, or they'll go back to their basic offense either way. Just run what's normal to them.
They're going back to the air now as Ellis steps up. He's going to be wrapped up, though, and stood up. Little to nothing doing on that play. And an obvious punting situation upcoming now for the Ashe County Huskies, unable to get anything going on that drive.
Saw Cody Blankenship and Ethan Lingle in there. Puts a quick stop to that series for the Huskies. Under a minute to play in the third, finally. Seems like forever.
It does. This has been a long quarter, all these turnovers and quick scores for the Huskies. And the punting unit quickly coming onto the field. Ball on the 18. So on 4th and 12, McNeil standing in his end zone. We'll punt this one off. Good snap to him, and a good kick. Fair catch called for. And knocked him down just for good measure. That's going to draw a penalty.
Yeah, that's one of those things. You wait for a fair catch, but didn't pick the ball up. Refs will talk about it, but
I believe the fair catch was called for.
I believe so. Mass confusion.
They're in a state of confusion here at Alexander Central right now. 21 seconds on the clock.
Just in case we didn't think the quarter could last any longer.
Referee's got to make this a record breaker.
We have to dive deep into the rule book for this one.
Ashe fully in control, as you can see on the Miller Insurance scoreboard, 45-14. We're just about ready to end this third period of play. Are waiting on the final word from this penalty call. But Nate, you talk about this third quarter. If you're Alexander Central, this is something you hope you never see again.
Yeah, you hope this is the last time for a long time you have to worry about this.
So as you can hear, the Husky fans are not happy with the call, of course. But I think it's the right call, actually. It may not be the one you want to see, but.
Yeah, I think once a fair catch is signaled, I think at that point you can't hit anybody that picks up the ball. So while you rarely see a fair catch and that guy not pick it up, I think that pretty much means the play's over. Of course, if he tried to run with it, I mean, what do you expect the defense to do? They're not going to just let him run. So I'm not sure how they could have flagged that as well. I'm pretty sure you can't do that.
So it looks like after it's all said and done, it's going to be spotted at the 32-yard line. So Alexander Central with some great field position. Quick throw here to the near side to Godfrey. They like to get him to the edge. A nice job there, though, closing in quickly. Louder in on the tackle, as well as Greer, I believe. And that should be the final play in this third quarter. So believe it or not, the third quarter is done here at Alexander Central. Huskies in complete control, up 45-14. This one may all but be decided. We've got fourth quarter of action coming up right after the break. Stay tuned in right here on Sky Zone Sports and Sky Zone HD, Channel 1.
When it comes to insuring your home, business, automobiles, and property, you want an agency you can depend on. Miller Insurance has been serving this region for more than 60 years and are proud to now represent Everett Cash Mutual, which specializes in insuring farm property, equipment, livestock, and more. Before you renew your insurance policies, give us a call at 336-246-7151 or come see us in downtown West Jefferson. Miller Insurance is proud to be your hometown insurance agency that supports our hometown teams.
Good evening once again. Welcome back in as we're getting ready to commence the fourth quarter of play in tonight's Friday night football matchup between the Ashe County Huskies and the host, Cougars of Alexander Central here in Taylorsville, North Carolina. Nate, as we crank up the fourth quarter, it is all Ashe County after a dominant third quarter of play. Yeah, really the first time we've seen Ashe be able to instill their game plan on a team this strong since last season. So far, hopefully Ashe can hang on here in the fourth quarter. Alexander Central has an explosive offense, but most of it has to come on the ground, and you know how that goes with the clock running. It may be difficult. So the first play to crank up the fourth quarter, it's a deep pass play down the near side, going up, tipped around and in and out of the hands of the would-be receiver. Very nearly a circus catch there. Almost a really nice catch. We had a couple of Huskies back there. Matt Greer, one of those in coverage, force a third down. He's looking for number 12, Evan Gantert, the senior wideout. So we'll make it 3rd and 9. And a big play here early in the quarter. So Alexander Central can try to chip into that deficit right now. Huskies on cruise control on the other side, up 45-14 as you look at the Miller Insurance scoreboard. Here's a pass play, incomplete. Some nice defense from Garrett Miller. Yeah, Garrett Miller all over number 12 there. Great coverage from the Huskies. That'll force a fourth down here. You know the Ashe defense would love to be able to get off the field here to start the fourth quarter. Just a few seconds in to this fourth period. For Alexander Central, they just got to forget everything that happened in the last 12 minutes of game time. Yeah, it's been a tough game for them, and tough season for them, in all honesty, to start out. I'm sure they thought they'd have a little bit better record than this. Yeah, I don't want to drop to 1-3. Huskies still calling for their first win. Here's a long pass play. This one's intercepted. Joseph Louder near the goal line making the big pick, and that'll get that defense off the field. And that's the second time tonight we've seen Louder pick off a key pass in the end zone. Showing off his good hands on the defensive end. Nate, we know that is a great interception there, thwarted the touchdown play, but really on fourth down, that's when you just rather see your defender swat into the ground if you're Coach Hampton. Yeah, certainly it looks nice in the stat column with an interception, but hey, if you knock that one down, you definitely have much better field position. But at this point in the game, you're up 31 points. Coaches probably won't be too unhappy with that. So Husky offense back onto the field, another turnover for Alexander Central. It's been turnover city here in Taylorsville, North Carolina tonight. 1st and 10 on their own 8-yard line. Ellis hands this one off. A nice run there from Sullivan. Look at him, Nate. He's breaking away. He's out across the 20, the 30, 40, midfield. Watch him go deep into Cougar territory. Wow, saving tackle there by number 25, Bryson Godfrey, able to run him down. What a run by Sky Sullivan, probably the best run we've seen from him all season. Yeah, we've been waiting for that breakaway run, and there you just saw it as the helmet pops off at the end, so he'll have to sit out the next play. That's the kind of run we're used to seeing there, breakaway potential from Sky Sullivan at the H-back position. Yeah, lots of power there from the junior tailback. We saw it quite a bit last season. Haven't seen it yet this year, but on that run, just tore up the Cougar defense up the middle. Alex Kissinger now into the game at running back. Senior tailback, getting some game time here. All the way down there to the 31-yard line of Alexander Central. They're going to keep the running game going, this time with Ellis. Fights forward, maybe got to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Not much there against that Cougar defense. They wish they could have the last play back, but thankfully for the Huskies, that play stands. They'll be deep in Cougar territory. Price checks back into the game for the Huskies. In no hurry to snap these balls here. So we're under 10.5 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Huskies enjoying a 31-point advantage over the bigger Cougars. It's been a nice display on the offensive side of the ball for the Huskies. And going away with a lot of turnovers, especially in that third quarter. We saw one to open up this period of play. That one, though, incomplete on the far side. Maybe a curious decision there throwing.
Yeah, a little bit surprised to see him going to the air with such a big lead. That'll stop the clock. 2:02 left in the ball game.
He was looking for his tailback there, Kissinger, over his head. And Sullivan checks back in. That'll bring up 3rd and 10 on the 31-yard line of the Cougars. Huskies working it right to left in this fourth quarter. 4 wide, trips to the left. Ellis looking that way, loses the football. And now he's scrambling. He's going to be dropped like a bad habit back at midfield.
That's a big loss there for the Huskies.
Was that Blankenship again bringing him down?
It may have been. Couldn't quite tell what number that was from here, but
we've called his name a lot tonight on the defensive side.
He has had a really good game up front. We've seen him a couple times get stuffed by the Husky offensive line, but for the most part, he's really had his way out there.
So ball back right at midfield. 4th and very long here for the Huskies. Fourth down and close to 20. And they'll punt this one away. McNeil gets off a high kick. It is short, takes a bad bounce for the Huskies. And they'll let it roll dead right around the 18, 19-yard line. Not a bad job there from McNeil, pinning them inside their own 20.
Yeah, nice punt there, all in all.
So the Cougars will come back onto the field on offense, 1st and 10. Ball on their own 19-yard line. The 8:45 mark. Trailing by 31 points. Ashe County was able to milk a couple minutes off the clock on that previous drive. It was looking good until the big sack on 3rd and long. Anderson sends a man in motion. There's the counter. And a nice run up the gut. Breakaway speed here. He's across midfield. Can Greer chase him down? He's the only man back to stop him. Eventually does. Grabbed him by his helmet, though. I don't think they're going to throw the flag, though, Nate.
Wow, great speed there. Looked like Jacob Parson absolutely gets up the middle of the Husky defense, almost untouched. Great speed from Matthew Greer, able to chase him down from the safety spot. But that's the kind of big play you needed if you're a Cougar fan. It's going to be tough to get back in this thing with 8.5 minutes left, but that was a nice start.
Takes it all the way down to the 18-yard line. Big time gain on 1st down by Parson. And here's basically the same play call again. This time, though, it's number 25, Godfrey. He's into the end zone.
2 plays, quick touchdown there for the Cougars.
So 6'1" sophomore finds the end zone. You know, when he gets in open field, he has breakaway speed for sure.
He sure does. He looks like Alexander Central's got lots of talent in that backfield. The Husky defense done well so far tonight to keep them from using all that talent, but that time we saw a big play from Parson, and then Godfrey caps off that drive with the 18-yard score.
So it's been a long time coming for Alexander Central as they find the end zone once again. And they're going for the 2-point conversion, and he's in. So tack on 2 more. That'll make it 45-22 at the 8:01 mark. Nate, that's the first time they've scored since over 9 minutes remaining in the second period.
Yeah, we saw the turnover bug absolutely destroy them in the third quarter. But here in the fourth quarter, a little bit different story coming out early for the Cougars. Just don't know if they'll have enough time left to dig out of this big hole they're in, but you can score on 2 plays, that's always a nice start.
We'll see if the defense can do their part. So take a look there. The Ashe County Ford drive to the end zone. You said it there, 2 plays. All it took them to march it 81 yards. Of course, the huge run by Parson on first down. First play from scrimmage was huge, and then capped off by an 18-yard run by Godfrey. And they added on 2 more as the conversion was successful, making it 45-22. 8:01 to play in this 4th period, though, Nate. Still, Huskies in good shape, though, with that 23-point advantage.
Yeah, you got to feel pretty good up 23. Not a whole lot of time left in the 4th quarter.
You think now this is time where we might see an onside kick attempt?
I certainly wouldn't be surprised at all. Down this much, you got to try something different.
Gaston to boot this one away. We'll see what they try to do. And there is the onside kick attempt. And who comes up with the football? It looks like the Cougars have it, and they do. So the onside kick is successful, and how about that?
Devin Weiss in there able to recover that. What a big momentum swing here in the 4th quarter for the Cougars. That looked like a completely different team. Of course, when you're not turning the ball over, it certainly makes you look a lot better. But we'll see if the Husky defense can kind of regroup real quick and get a stop.
That Husky defense got to go back to work quickly. Of course, they weren't on the field much last drive, just 2 plays. Gave up a couple of big-time runs. Anderson will be back on to direct this option offense. We'll see him go to a different look now as they're going to be passing. We know from here on out there's a long pass attempt down the left side over the hands of Godfrey. Falls incomplete. Nice defense there in the secondary being applied by Greer.
Yeah, good coverage from the Huskies, and that throw well overthrown there from Anderson.
Hunter Argetzinger also in on the coverage. After the incompletion, we'll make it 2nd down and 10. Ball is on the 48-yard line, so some nice field position on this drive to begin for the Cougars. Still trailing here big time, though, the 7:54 mark, 45-22. We've seen this air raid offense really take flight here tonight for Ashe County. The defense has done their part as well. Man in motion on 2nd down. There's the counter. Handoff, and Parson off to the races again. A nice tackle by Louder, but not before he picks up the 1st down.
And the Cougar offense still clicking along pretty nicely.
A lot of weapons for the Cougars out of the backfield. We've seen, of course, Devontae Clark gets the bulk of the carries, but Godfrey, and there we've seen Parson more here in this 4th period. Some big-time gainers between the 2 of them. Play action. There's a throw down the field, in and out of the hands of the would-be receiver. Some nice defense right there, though, being applied again by Louder.
Yeah, we've seen Louder a lot on defense tonight. Maybe not as much as we have earlier in the season, but he's done a tremendous job back there. Not just the 2 interceptions, but he's been in pretty good position every time the Cougars have went downfield through the air.
That'll be 2nd down and 10 on the Husky 39-yard line. Just over 7.5 to play in this one. Huskies in control. The Cougars are driving. Throwing all the way. And there's the pass completion that time to Gantert before he's shoved out of bounds. Down near red zone territory, so a nice gainer there through the air.
Tough break for Ashe. Looked like Garrett Miller had that stop for a short game, but just could not complete the tackle. Instead, Alexander Central picks up a nice little chunk of yardage once again.
Move the chains down to the 23-yard line. Usually you can count on Miller for those open field tackles. Not the case on that play, as Anderson goes back to work under center. Looks like the same play again. This time Miller's not going to be denied as he stands his man up. He's not going to be fooled 2 times in a row. Pass was caught there again by Evan Gantert, senior wideout. No gain. And now they call it now short gain. Picks up about 4. Hard to tell from our angle. They are in red zone territory on the 20. There's the pass. He catches it, and he's into the end zone. How about that play? Touchdown, Cougars.
And Jacob Parson, again, he's really came to life in the fourth quarter. And the Cougar offense, all of a sudden, they've got a lot of momentum. Their crowd's back in the game. Husky defense, they've got to figure a way to settle down here, try to get through the last 6 minutes and 53 seconds with this lead.
So now things get a little more interesting. As you saw there, the pass completion on the Mountain Outfitters replay. You can get great shots just like that by getting yourself a GoPro at Mountain Outfitters, as well as all your outdoor needs located in downtown WJ. Now going for the two-point conversion again. Trying to cut this to a 15-point. There's the misdirection, handoff, and he's in. Untouched is Godfrey. Tack on 2 more, so it's 45-30. We've got ourselves a 2-score ball game.
Yeah, just like that. It seemed like not long ago we were talking about Huskies putting this one in the win column, getting ready to head back up the mountain, but instead the Cougars have different ideas. And now, almost 7 minutes left in this game. We've seen a lot of things happen in a lot less time than that, so the Husky defense, they've really got to regroup. And offensively, I'd like to see them be able to burn a little bit of clock at least. Last couple of drives haven't been able to do anything.
The Cougars didn't need much there on that drive in the amount of time. As we take a look at that Ashe County Ford drive to the end zone, just 1:06 off the clock. Took 6 plays to go just past 50 yards. Of course, the 20-yard pass from Anderson to Parson. He's looked good at the quarterback position, especially throwing the ball. You got to think they like him in this situation where they need the quick points.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw Hammer get hurt earlier, but it's definitely been the Gunnar Anderson show here in the second half. He's got a tremendous arm out there, and a lot of his throws have been right on the money.
There's another onside kick attempt, but this time nice hands by Grant Thompson, corralling that one right at midfield and falling down with it. So the onside kick at this time will not work for the Cougars as the Husky offense will come back onto the field. As Nate, now it's time where they need to be looking to score again, it appears.
Yeah, they definitely at least have to pick up some yards, take a little bit of time off the clock, but if they could score here, that would certainly put the icing on the cake, go back up by 3 scores. That might be a little bit too much for the Cougars to come back from, but you know that Cougar defense, they're going to go out there, try to force some turnovers and be able to get the ball back. So we'll see which team can win out here down the stretch.
Oh, how about that, breaking through the line and coming up with a nice tackle for Alexander Central, number 58, Corey Sherrod, senior linebacker, taking down Sky Sullivan. Nothing doing there for the junior tailback. Call it a loss of 2. So back to their own 48 now. Huskies working here with a 15-point advantage, though. Time is on their side as we near the midway point in this 4th period. Stacked receivers to the left and right. Setting up the screen play, a quick toss to the near side to Ellis, knocked out of bounds after he picks up about 2 or 3 yards.
Yeah, would have liked to have seen him stay in bounds there. That will stop the clock, and just like that, it's already a quick 3rd down. Not a whole lot of time off of that clock.
Pick up of 4 on the play, makes it 3rd and 8 as they switched fields, got it onto Alexander Central's side of things. From their 49-yard line, it'll be 3rd and 8 for the Huskies. As you said, they just want to keep that clock rolling at this point. McNeil on the near side, 3 receivers to the right. Ellis wanting it all, looking for Price. And that one is going to be intercepted. Excuse me, he's looking in the way of McNeil. And how about that INT?
And the momentum keeps building for the Cougars. What a great leaping grab there on defense. A little bit shaken up on the play, but he really sold out for that interception. Still haven't quite saw the number on that kid yet. He
was it Barnett? We've called his name a lot in the secondary, and it is.
Yeah, it looked like it was. He's certainly shaken up out there, but great effort, and that'll give the Cougars the ball back. And 5:56 here left in the contest. It's anyone's game at this point.
The first pick we've seen from Ellis as Barnett has been burned quite a bit tonight, but he has stuck him there pretty good in the secondary. He's rewarded there with a pick. Some nice play from the junior defense, or the senior defensive back. On their own 28-yard line, still a lot of time now. Things could get interesting these last few minutes. Here's a deep pass, and it is caught wide open and still on his feet. Cutting across the field, looking for his blocks down the field is Josh Bolick, the senior tight end, and he gets it deep into Husky territory.
Yeah, the wheels seem to be falling off for Ashe here in the fourth quarter, much like it did for Alexander Central in the third. It's another big pass play down the field. Garrett Miller came from behind, tried to strip the ball there, but to no avail, and all of a sudden Alexander Central all the way down to the Husky 28.
So they completely flipped fields on that one. We're on their own 28 now. Well, they're going to mark it at the 24 now. Here, approaching the 5.5-minute mark, 1st and 10, just outside red zone territory. That play's worked well for him here in this fourth quarter. As we see the counter. This time, not a big breakaway, but a nice gainer nonetheless from Jacob Parson. He's really come to life in this period.
Yes, the whole Cougar offense really has, but especially Parson. We've seen him make some plays through the air, but also here on the ground, he's really gashed this Husky defense.
2nd down and 2, ball on the 16. And they're just going to dump it off to Clark in the backfield, read perfectly by the Husky defense. Connor Campbell, the sophomore, making a nice stop. That'll drop him for a loss on the play. It's about a yard. Sets up 3rd and short. Third down and be a long 3. Pump fakes once, now to Clark again, same play. This time it works though, and he's got the 1st down and then some. It's going to bring up a 1st down and goal. So hold the phone. 4:21 mark, Nate. We've got ourselves a ball game.
Yeah, we certainly do. The Cougars 1st and goal. Clock is ticking, but still 4 minutes left in the game. Plenty of time for the Cougars to strike here, especially just needing 9 yards.
The 1st and goal from the 9. Anderson looking to throw it to the near side, and that one is broken up. Incomplete. Some nice defense being played there by Garrett Miller.
Yeah, nice play from the Husky defense there. Haven't been able to say that much in the fourth quarter, but certainly on that play, good individual coverage out there from Garrett Miller.
After the incomplete pass, it'll be 2nd down and 9. Excuse me, and goal on the 9. Cougars looking to make this a 1-score game. There's the throw to the left side. It is caught and into the end zone. We've got ourselves a 1-score game. Great pass that time to Evan Gantert from Anderson.
Well, you know, the Husky fans, they're not sure what's going on. They're in about the same position Cougar fans were in the third quarter. Just seeing their team kind of collapse here down the stretch.
So an extra point, it will be a 1-score game if they can convert. See if they go for 2. They've been successful in the last couple of trips after getting the 6 points, adding on 2 more.
It's a gutsy call to go for 2. If you miss it, it's still a 2-possession game.
Yeah, it certainly is, and you got to think they might just go for 1, but they're lining up for the 2-point conversion. Here's the handoff up the gut, and he's in.
Well, Devontae Clark, haven't seen him much in the second half, but he powered through there almost untouched.
So the gamble pays off as they make it a touchdown game now. Pull within 7 at the 3:56 mark, the Cougars. Now trail 45-38. My goodness, talk about a flip of the script from that third period. This team looks equally as impressive as they were not impressive in that third quarter.
Oh yeah, complete role reversal here. Cougars, they're the team on the march. They're the team with the momentum. Ashe just tried so hard to hang on.
We take a look at that Ashe County Ford drive to the end zone. Took them 2 minutes to take it 6 plays and 73 yards. Of course, a nice pass from Anderson to Gantert. They've been able to rely on that run game as well, Nate.
Yeah, they've finally been able to find some of that rushing attack that they've been so good at early in the season. Wasn't quite there for them in the first half. The Husky defense up to the task, but here in the fourth quarter, just a completely different look from both teams.
Now this time they will just boot this one deep. McNeil fields it inside his own 10. Now he's making some nice moves, trying to find some space to work with. Boy, those Cougar special team guys going in on that tackle. They're trying to rip that ball away.
Yeah, we saw Devin Weiss in there among those guys. Certainly, if you're a Husky player, you got to have two hands on the football. Can't afford any turnovers here. You're gonna have to try to run this clock out somehow, but we haven't seen much success at all from the Husky offense in doing that.
All spotted right at the 20-yard line. Huskies will take over 1st and 10. 3:49 on the clock. They're working with a 7-point advantage. Definitely can't afford another turnover. There's the handoff up the middle to Sullivan. Going to be wrestled down after a nice little gain on first. I believe we're going to get a stoppage here as we'll see the Cougars burn a TO, their first in the second half, and it is a Littles Health and Fitness Center timeout. Littles Health and Fitness, again, reminding you to take time out of your day. Get active. Visit them at Littles Gym in West Jefferson. So, Nate, a lot of questions right now for the Huskies. Are they going to be able to milk this clock and come out of here with the victories? Things have really gotten interesting in this fourth period of play.
Yeah, it's been really a tale of two quarters in the second half for sure. For Ashe, though, it's not even really been the turnovers that have been a problem. Yeah, they've thrown an interception, haven't been able to recover an onside kick, but it's just been giving up huge plays. And Alexander Central, we've seen them just finding big-time pay dirt through the air and on the ground. Somehow the Ashe offense either needs to melt this away or the defense is going to have to come back out there and get a key stop now, just a one-touchdown game.
3:40 mark. Last one was a 3-yard gain from Sullivan. Put him out at the 24. 2nd down and 7. As this Ashe County offense goes back to work this time, Ellis keeping himself, and look at him power forward, refusing to go down. Nice chunky yardage there from the QB.
Yeah, that's a nice play call there. That'll put him a little bit closer to the first down.
We'll see Alexander Central quickly earn their second TO, another Littles Health and Fitness Center timeout. And I think this is something, you think could be a bit of trouble for the Huskies, really not reliant upon that running game, and then they get in a situation like this. Now you've almost got to come up with something on the ground just to keep that clock rolling, and they're really not built for the run.
Yeah, they're certainly not. We know that they would like to be able to run the ball a little bit better in these situations. Coach Hampton's talked about it on more than one occasion. But so far, not been able to execute that sort of game plan. But here, if you can get just a couple yards from Colin Ellis or Sky Sullivan, that'll keep this drive going.
Yeah, you've got the carriers, certainly, with Sullivan in the backfield and Ellis always a threat to run it. And this is something the Huskies are learning right now on the go, is playing with the lead.
Yeah, that's something we haven't seen a whole lot of this year, unfortunately, but here we had a big-time lead and just have not been able to saw it away like a lot of people thought we might be able to. And a lot of credit goes to the Cougars to that. They've been battling back hard.
3rd and 2, Ellis has some open real estate, and he gets out across the 30. Move those sticks. A huge first down picked up there for this Husky offense.
Yeah, that's a big-time first down. Cougars only one timeout left to stop the clock. If Ashe keeps it on the ground here, they'll have at least 2 downs where they can melt almost that whole play clock down while the game clock runs. That won't leave the Cougars much time at all, even if they do get a stop and force a Husky punt.
Alexander Central still with 1 timeout. If they had gotten the stop, they would have burned that on the 4th down. The Huskies keep that clock rolling. Just over 3 minutes to go now. Ellis in the gun. He's going to keep it himself once again, looking for some blocks, following his men over to the left side. And gets a few yards there, pick up of about 3 on the first down carry. That's at least what you'd like to get every time here, get about 3 yards.
Yeah, that'll be helpful. You really just don't want to have any big yardage losses, especially you don't want to have any turnovers, any miscues with the balls on the ground. But if you can pick up 2 or 3 yards, that'll keep the clock running. Pick up another 2 or 3 here, it'll be a 3rd down and manageable.
They said just a gain of a couple. 2nd down and 8. Inside 2.5. Huskies working with the touchdown lead. Sullivan trying to find some space up the middle. Not a lot doing there. He falls forward after picking up a couple. And we're going to get another timeout from Alexander Central as they quickly burn their final timeout of the ball game at the 2:17 mark. Another Little's Health and Fitness Center timeout. It's going to bring up a 3rd down situation here, medium length for the Huskies. If you're Alexander Central and Coach Nick Basil, what are you telling your team right now? No TOs left, just over 2 minutes to go, trailing by a touchdown.
Yeah, you're telling them you have to absolutely have a stop on this play, have to force a 4th down, and most likely it'll be a Husky punt. And you're also telling them if you get a chance, you know, strip that football away. Don't go for a strip and not tackle the guy, but you know, if he's bottled up, go in there and try to hack that ball away.
Of course, on the other side here for the Huskies, for Coach Hampton, what are you drawing up on this 3rd medium length situation?
I would expect to let Colin Ellis make the decision back there. Maybe a little bit of a read option type play. Haven't seen that hardly at all this year, but might see it on this play.
Chance they go to the air.
I would be surprised, but you never know. Sometimes we'll go, and we are going to the air.
Here it is, going to the air. Pass is caught, and they're not going to get the 1st down, though.
That was a very safe play call, a nice little screen pass. Don't blame them at all for going to that. But as you said, unable to get near the sticks, and they will have to give the ball back to the Cougars.
Pickup of a pair, maybe. As you said, the halfback screen to Sullivan. It's 4th down and 4 on their own 37. That clock rolling. 1:40 and counting. Huskies in no hurry. Let's see them burn a timeout here. Let that play clock roll all the way down. As the team walks over here. Looks to be the call. That is what they will do. Hampton in the ear of the official and burns a timeout. The 2nd half for the Ashe County Huskies. That will stop the clock here at the 1:21 mark. So now if you're the Huskies, you know Coach Hampton's going to be telling this, having a lot of words here, keywords for his long snapper and then punter, Mason McNeil.
Yeah, just got to have a good snap, have a good catch on the snap from McNeil, and get the ball away. Cougars might try to rush him here, try to block it. They might set up a return.
Yeah, if you're Alexander Central here, Nate, do you send the house?
They've had such good success with getting guys in open space. I might set up a return here, see if they can get some blocks and spring one of their quick runners back there.
So on 4th down and 4, McNeil's on the punt, standing on his own 25. Huskies lead by a touchdown. In the waning minutes of this ball game, gets off a good high kick. Return man wants no part of it. It bounces. Great kick there from McNeil. Goes out of bounds right around the 22, 23-yard line of the Cougars.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for a much better punt there from McNeil. Keeps it away from the return man. And it'll give the Cougars a real long field to have to go to tie this game. Not a whole lot of time left on the clock either.
Just over a minute to go. 1:11 to be exact. And the Cougars will have a long field to work with. Starting this drive on their own 23-yard line. Trailing by 7, got to get a touchdown. Out of timeouts. This Ashe defense has to prove they can make a stop. Haven't really been able to do it here in this 4th period except for the first drive from Alexander Central, and with an interception. And there's a quick catch. But he's forced out of bounds, it looks like, unless they called him dead in field, Nate.
Well, great play there from Garrett Miller, reading that perfectly.
And the referees, I believe, say he was out of bounds.
Well, one ref signaling to stop the clock, one ref signaling to run the clock, so I'm not sure there's much agreement, even with the officials, on what to do there.
There's a long pass, and in and out of the hands of his target. That will stop the clock. But nearly a big-time play there was made.
Yeah, he was open, but the throw just a little bit off target.
They've been looking for sophomore wideout Levi Childers. In and out of his hands. He went up for the catch, just a bit overthrown. Down right at a minute in this ball game. Big time play upcoming here. This one is complete. Now looking to get out of bounds is Godfrey. That will be enough to stop the clock. Nice reception made there by Bryson Godfrey.
Certainly moved the chains as well.
Clock stopped while they reset. Keeps this drive alive. They're going to be quick on the ball, see if they spike it here. And indeed they do. Anderson throws this one into the dirt. And that will stop the clock again. Just under a minute remaining in this ball game. What are you drawing up here if you're Coach Basil?
You know they're going to have to go to the air with no timeouts here. I'm sure he would like to catch them off guard with a running play, but if you can't get out of bounds, that clock's going to keep running. That's really going to hurt you. So you expect them, they got to go to the air here for the rest of the way. The Ashe secondary's got to be ready for it.
Anderson going through the air, heaving this one deep down that left side, and just overthrew that one just by a couple of yards. Clark in a full sprint mode, doing his best to get that one, but couldn't quite make up the ground.
Yeah, he had a step or two. We saw Mason McNeil in there and Matt Greer, probably two of the better athletes we have on the team, and he was still able to get a step on them, but the throw just not good enough. Lots of people on their feet here.
It's third down and 10. Under 50 seconds remaining in the ball game. Anderson again dropping back, feeling the pressure. Hit as he throws, but completes this one. He's across midfield, still fighting forward is the receiver there. Jacob Parson finally going to be slung to the ground. But not before he gets into Husky territory. Things really getting interesting now, Nate.
Yeah, Parson once again making a big play for the Cougars. Matt Greer there for the tackle.
Clock stopped while they reset. And now we're rolling again, just over 30 seconds to go, and quickly spikes this one to kill that clock. Moving the ball well, considering no timeouts. With the clock stopped, we will see the Huskies take a TO, trying to straighten things out on defense. Be their second timeout. It is Little's Health and Fitness Center timeout. Just over 30 seconds remaining in this one. Huskies trying to escape here with a victory. Ball's going to be on their own 48-yard line. It'll be second down after the timeout, after the spike that killed the clock. (45-38). Just over 30 seconds remaining here at Cougar Stadium. Alexander Central looking to complete the improbable comeback, trailing 45-14 to open up this quarter. Fans getting loud on both sides of the stadium. Second and 10 from the Husky 48. Play action, Anderson throwing off his back foot, and that one is picked off. Matthew Greer makes the game-saving interception, and finally going to be brought down. And the Huskies, Nate, are going to come out of here with a victory.
What a play from a junior safety there. Got to love that. Read that play perfectly. Of course, anytime you're throwing off your back foot, you're going to leave a whole lot of air under that pass. Matt Greer picks it off, and looks like unless some crazy stuff happens, the Huskies going to be able to get that first win of the year.
And how about that? A big-time play from the junior from his secondary position. Stepping in, read that one all the way and makes a game-saving, potentially, interception. And that'll kill any comeback attempt here from the Cougars. But, man, you got to give them a lot of credit for even battling back and making this one a game in the waning minutes.
Yeah, I tell you, both teams really had their ups and downs in this game, and Cougars nearly pulled off one heck of a comeback. But right there, the Ashe defense able to stand strong, and that knee will do it.
That's right. The clock going to wind on down, and as it hits zeros, the Huskies, they're fired up. They get themselves a big win here tonight.
Yeah, first win of the season, and I tell you what, it's up against a pretty impressive program. Alexander Central, they're struggling this year, but as we saw tonight, they've got the athletes, size, and talent. They'll play with a lot of teams.
This is a big victory here, Nate. Second straight year we've seen the Huskies beat a 4A team on the road. Last year, of course, the rivalry game at Watauga. This one has a little bit of a feel like that. Coming out of here, you see the reaction from the team at the end of this ball game. A big time played late seals the deal.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. We saw a little bit of chippiness, too. These teams, the first time they've ever played each other on the gridiron, but they look like some old rivals out there really hammering it out.
So as this one goes final, we'll get some final tabulations here. As we take a look at the final statistics from tonight's ball game, Nate. And you see Alexander Central, they whipped out a lot of offensive yards, especially on the ground, nearly 300, but a lot of that came in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, plus a lot of those turnovers, I tell you, that was the difference in the ball game for the Huskies, able to force those turnovers. Alexander Central over 530 yards of total offense. Their offense wasn't really the problem tonight when they were able to hang on to the football. It's just turning the ball over. That was a killer.
And we talked about it at halftime. How about those fourth down conversions? The Huskies kept it going in the second half, 4 for 4 on the night on fourth down. You can't discount that. And then making the plays when it counts the most, not seen on screen. Red zone chances, 5 out of 5 for the Huskies.
Yeah, the Husky offense, they were really clicking as well. Just a little bit of a defensive breakdown there in the fourth quarter made this game a lot closer than it needed to be. But still, for the Huskies, you've got to feel great with a victory going into conference play.
We'll take a look at some of the top performers for the Ashe County Huskies. Colin Ellis, we talked about in the third quarter. He tied a high school record at Ashe County. 6 touchdown tosses. He did throw the one pick there late in the ballgame at over 300 yards, like what you see out of the junior QB.
Yeah, he's having a great season. Really building from game one. He's gotten better each week. And, hey, anytime you go out there and throw 6 touchdowns, your team's probably going to win.
We talk about the dynamic duo at the receiver positions. Judd Price and Mason McNeil, they each had outstanding games here tonight.
Yeah, Judd, 6 catches, 118 yards, 3 scores. Mason McNeil got to that 10-catch mark, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. And don't leave Sky Sullivan out either. He had a great game on the ground, 12 carries, 79 yards, and a score.
Yeah, nice to see him getting a lot of carries here tonight. Of course, a lot of it was when they were trying to milk the clock, but broke away for a big-time gain. It really helped out the Huskies in terms of field position. Then on the defensive side, Joseph Louder, 2 big picks. One was in the end zone, and the other right near the goal line on a 4th and long situation. And then not listed, Matthew Greer had a great game here. Really made an outstanding catch on the defense, made that interception that really sealed the deal here tonight.
Yeah, that did. That put an end to that final Cougar drive. And for the Huskies, got to be really thrilled with where they stood after tonight. And for the Cougars, equally impressive numbers. Gunnar Anderson, how about that? Backup quarterback comes in, 15 of 26, 239 yards, and throws 3 touchdowns. Of course, those 3 interceptions didn't help, but you got to be happy with him coming in, slinging the ball like that when you really needed him to.
Yeah, you never know what would have happened without all these turnovers, but still ended up being a great game here tonight. Huskies able to cling on there to the 7-point advantage they had at the end. Nice job from Landon Hammer. We saw him get hurt early in the ball game. And Nate, he came in and ended up rushing for 12 carries for 70 yards overall. Clark had over 70 yards on the ground, the top rusher for tonight. So a lot of things to like from Alexander Central as well if they could have just held on to the ball. As you said, they're very impressive night from Anderson when your backup throws for 239 yards and 3 TDs. That's a good night.
Oh, yeah, you got to be happy with that. You know, the game might have not have went your way, but you got to be really thrilled with how your backup quarterback came in and played and beat an underclassman as well.
So the Huskies, you talked about it, they're going to have a lot of momentum going into conference play. Looking forward to it, Nathan. We've got Allegheny on the road next Friday night. How do you like the chances of the Huskies there?
Well, Allegheny, they've certainly struggled this season early on. Ashe maybe not have struggled as much as they have, plus Ashe played a much tougher schedule than they have. I think the Huskies, if they play as well as they're capable of, I think they'll certainly give Allegheny some trouble.
So glad to see the Huskies back on the winning track now as they'll get their first win of the season, improve to 1-3. Alexander Central drops to 1-3 on the year. So a nice road victory here for the Huskies. You'll take them any way you can get them on the road. We know how difficult it is winning away from home. And that'll about do it here for us tonight. Thanks again for tuning in for Friday Night Football here on Sky Zone Sports. For Nathan Ham and Corbin Richardson, I'm Tyler Ashe. Thanks for watching.